30 in Visalia, California, and they made a big deal about it. And they about the 4th or 5th inning, they turned the lights off in the stadium, and they brought a cake out with candles on it, and they wanted to celebrate his birthday. And he was appreciative to the point where, okay, that's nice. Now let's play the game of baseball. And it took about 10 minutes for the mercury vapor lights to come back on. And that's when he got hot because it was interfering with the game of baseball.
Welcome to Tom Kelly Day at Target Field. A grand opportunity to interfere with the game of baseball as the Twins bestow one of the greatest honors in sports by retiring Tom Kelly's number 10. Tonight's master of ceremonies, the voice of Twins baseball on radio for a quarter century. Please welcome back John Gordon.
Good evening, everybody. My first year working with the Twins was Tom Kelly's first full season as the Twins manager, 1987. TK and I flew out from Newark, New Jersey together and interviewed for our respective positions. And fortunately for all you fans, Tom Kelly was hired as manager of the Minnesota Twins. And what a year it would be. TK went from being known as the youngest manager in baseball to being the American League pennant-winning manager to wearing a World Series ring all in one season. He made his mark on the baseball world quickly, a mark that would later have its own nickname. You see, TK created the Twins way. Fundamentals would win games, win series, win championships. But TK will tell you that it's fundamentals and the right group of players. A large group of those former players arrived this weekend to pay tribute to their skipper. And on hand this evening, seated down below on the third base line, are Tom Brunansky, Jeff Reardon, Juan Berenguer, Mike Pagliarulo, Brad Radke, Frank Viola, Rick Aguilera, Randy Bush, Eddie Guardado, Al Newman, Corey Koski, Dan Gladden, Gene Larkin, Jack Morris, Ron Coomer, Sal Butera, Scott Leas, and Tim Laudner. Also down the third base line are members of his coaching staff, Rick Stelmazik, Jerry White, Scott Olger, Dick Such, Rick Rennick, and his former manager, Frank Quillisi. Former clubhouse staff members Jim Dunn, Jim Wiesner, and Wayne Hadaway. And also seated along the third base line are the Twins owner and Chief Executive Officer Jim Pohlad and his wife Donna, Twins President Dave St. Peter, the Chairman of the Twins Executive Board Jerry Bell, and former General Manager Andy MacPhail.
Well, for me, there's only one TK. And that's Tom Kelly, the best manager that I ever played for. He has had an influence on this organization probably bigger than anyone else that I can imagine.
He could be the most aware human being on the planet, and especially in baseball. When you see what he does and how he's aware of what goes on the field, he's a very aware guy. And it was fun to be around that.
The Twins have honored their greatest players by permanently removing their numbers from the field of play. They will be displayed as symbols of baseball immortality. The Twins dedicated the facade on the second deck and left field to the numbers that represent these legendary players. Number 42. It was retired throughout the major leagues in 1997 to honor the legacy of Jackie Robinson, not only one of the greatest athletes ever, but one of the most important and instrumental figures in our game and our country's history. Number 3, it was the first Twins number to be retired, and it was done while he was still in the game. Harmon Killebrew had his jersey retired in 1975 when he came back to the old Met as a member of the Kansas City Royals. Harmon's passing last summer has left a hole in the hearts of Twins fans. He's gone, but Harmon Killebrew will never be forgotten. Number 34. Who will ever forget the moment when number 34 gave number 10 the most famous hug in Metrodome history? It was right after Game 6 of the '91 World Series. Oh, how that joy was felt by every Twins fan and expressed in that embrace. Kirby's number 34 was retired in 1997, and he passed away in 2006. Number 14, the legend from Lake Country, the kid from Bloomington, the ball player that represented the upper Midwest throughout his work ethic and fun-loving attitude and helped bring a pair of championships in the process. Ladies and gentlemen, the man whose number was retired in 1995. He played first base for TK for nearly a decade. Number 14, Kent Hrbek. Number 6, one of the most feared hitters in the last 50 years. A guy who left his home in Cuba in the late 50s. Never departed from Twins territory. A Rookie of the Year, a batting champ, a Gold Glover, and the greatest ambassador the team has ever known. His number 6 was retired in '91, serving as TK's hitting coach for both World Championship teams. The one and only Tony Oliva. Number 28. Last summer, Bert Blyleven got his just call to Cooperstown. 1 week prior to that, the Twins officially sent his number 28 to the rafters. He possessed one of the greatest curveballs in history, is 5th in the all-time strikeout list. When the season started in 1987, the right-handed Twins ace was the same age as manager Tom Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, number 28, Bert Blyleven. Tonight, another number will hang from the facade. The number worn by all-star catchers Earl Batty and Johnny Roseborough in the 60s, and the young superstar outfielder Lyman Bostock in the 70s. Number 29, one of the purest hitters to ever put a bat in his hand, 7 times a batting champ. 15 consecutive seasons his average was above 300, 8 times an all-star, and he could change a game in many ways. One season he stole home 7 times. Inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1991. His Twins number 29 was retired in '87. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a teammate of Tom Kelly's in 1975, Rodney Carew. As mentioned, another number is going to hang from that facade tonight. In 1987, their number 10 was handed from Earl Batty and Johnny Roseborough to the 36-year-old newly named skipper of the Twins, and it would stay in his back until he retired from the field in 2001. The winningest manager in Twins history, the guiding force behind 2 memorable World Championship seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of honor this evening, number 10, Tom T.K. Kelly.
Tom Kelly entering the field here at Target Field. More ceremonies as Tom Kelly's number 10 being officially retired tonight by the Minnesota Twins. with the Twins. He actually did play for the Minnesota Twins more than 10 years before he ever managed at the big league level. Tom was a first baseman. In 1975, he made it to the big leagues. Got 127 at-bats, hit just 181. Did hit a major league home run. And then went into coaching and managing shortly after that. And he, like so many others before him, paid his dues in the minor leagues before getting to the big leagues, and today having his number retired.
Tom Kelly was an 8th-round pick of the Seattle Pilots. Never made it to the bigs with that organization, then relocated to Milwaukee. He was scooped up by the Twins, and in 1975, he was called up and played in 49 games, hitting 1 career home run off Vern Rule. TK owned Vern Rule. He wore number 16 as a Twins player, not the number we're retiring tonight. His manager in 1975, Frank Quillisi, is here tonight to present Tom with a jersey from that season with number 16. Please welcome the Q-Man, Frank Quillisi. Got it. TK got the call back to the big leagues as part of manager Billy Gardner's coaching staff in 1983 and was assigned number 41. He'd wear that number when he was named interim manager in September of '86, but when camp rolled around in '87, the Twins traded for reliever Jeff Reardon from Montreal, where he wore number 41 as a 2-time All-Star. TK willingly surrendered that number to the guy who would close out the '87 World Series. Tonight, Jeff gives it back. Please welcome Jeff Reardon and a number 41 jersey from that '86 season. Now, the person who was most responsible for giving TK the chance to lead that '87 squad was an equally young first-year general manager. Please welcome back the architect of the Twins World Series titles, Andy MacPhail. Andy.
Thank you, John. And I do appreciate the opportunity to be here. You know, in general, when a team hires a manager, what they're really hoping for and their greatest expectation would be they would find someone that could maximize and squeeze as many wins out of the talent that's been assembled. And fortunately for me, I was the guy who was responsible for trying to assemble that talent for 8 years. And I can tell you, nobody in baseball got more out of the talent that he was given than Tom Kelly. I'm going to try to share with you today some of the observations that I had over my 8 years with Tom as to what separated him from other managers and I think contributed to his success. First, the thing about Tom is he's pretty straightforward and pretty consistent. There's not much nuance or hidden messages or subtlety with Tom. It's pretty direct. This is what we want you to do. This is how we want you to do it. And that message really didn't change. Second, he never separated himself from his team. He wasn't locked in his manager's office with the door closed. He wasn't sitting up in the first seat of first class when the team traveled from city to city. He'd generally be in the back of the plane. It wasn't unusual to see him playing cards with players before practice started. He really had the pulse of his team. He was still the boss, but he really understood where his team was. Third, Tom was a good evaluator. You know, rightly or wrongly, managers are often criticized for, not being as objective as maybe they can. You know, like any human being, their judgment gets colored by their likes and their dislikes. Tom was an extraordinary evaluator and really helped us with some key acquisitions over the period we spent together. Fourth, and probably what I appreciated as much as anything, he never managed a game trying to make the post-game news conference easier. If he thought he had to go against the book, throw a left-handed pitcher against a good right-handed hitter, he would do it. He didn't worry about answering the questions after the game. Fifth, he had patience. Anybody that's dealing with 25 different human beings has got to know when to sort of lighten up and show a little patience. And perhaps the best example I can give you of that is really, who could have managed Dan Gladden for 5 years without a lot of patience? Yeah. Sixth, he had perspective. You know, how many times did we hear TK say, don't get too high, don't get too low, keep everything even keeled? And maybe the best example of that I can give you is Game 7 of the World Series in 1991. Jack Morris has just thrown 9 shutout innings. He ambles over to Jack and tells him that he's done for the day. Great job. Aggie's going to take it from here. Jack argues with him, tells him, I got some more innings in me. Dick Such, our pitching coach, walks over and goes, yeah, TK, I think he can go further. So TK looks at both of them and shrugs his shoulders, says, it's only a game, and walks to the other side of the dugout. And lastly, and maybe most importantly, he always remembered that he was there to make the players as good as they possibly could be, to reach the limits of their capability, both individually and as a team. It wasn't the other way around. The players weren't there to aggrandize his career. He was there for the players to make them as good as they could be. They understood it. They appreciated it, and that's why you see as many of them here today as you do. Tom, congratulations.
Nicely done, Andy. Very good. Very good.
It's a real treat for me to be part of. It's a real treat for me to be part of the day where they're honoring and retiring your number. And you know, we go back. We started about the same time, and have great appreciation for our friendship, but mostly for the competitions we had over those years, A's and the Twins. The most fun you can have. I think we all appreciate what you and the Twins, your players, what you represent. You know, real strong team feeling, play the game hard, play it right, and what a thrill for fans of Tom Kelly to see your 2 World Series experiences, 2 7-game wins. Great career, man. Congratulations.
He knew everybody. He fit right in. And the good thing about TK is that he let us play the game of baseball. You know, he knew when to discipline somebody. He knew when to just pat somebody on the back when they're struggling. He's just a good baseball man.
Well, I think he definitely made me a better ball player in that, he gave a little advice, didn't try to give too much advice. And I think that he allowed you to run with it. He allowed you to kind of, play with some of the boundaries. And I think that he was, when he did speak and have some of those meetings, people listened.
And so that first year when, some people in front office would say that we were just trying to gear up for a successful team a couple years down the road, we messed up and we became successful in 1987. And certainly TK would not say he was responsible, but he was every bit as responsible as the horses that pulled his wagons for him.
In the first 6 years under TK, the Twins would win 2 American League West titles, contend for 2 more, and no matter what the situation was, his teams would play hard and not give up. In '87, TK celebrated the World Championship by watching his players celebrate on the field. The image of TK watching from the dugout is etched in the minds of Twins fans. In '91, TK let his emotions come through following the Kirby Puckett walk-off Game 6 home run against Atlanta. The celebrations might have differed, but the results were the same, 2 world championships. Ladies and gentlemen, Twins fans, please welcome a key member of those championship teams and a member of the retired number club, number 14, Ken Herbeck.
Ad-lib. Thanks, John. TK, great day. What I think of TK, and I think every one of the guys sitting over here, is respect. TK talks about respecting the game of baseball every time he talks about baseball. And I think that's what I and every one of these guys over here that played for TK understood and learned from TK, respect for the game. And now I think it's a great honor for TK to get his number retired by the Twins, because they found out that that respect gave him 2 world championships and nothing but a bunch of fun for a bunch of us guys over sitting here. So TK, congratulations on a great day. And I get a feeling the reason that number 14 is up there has a lot to do with number 10. So thank you and have a great day.
Now, one thing that he really stressed and really taught me a lot about baseball is be attentive to detail. You know, just don't do a drill and let little things slide. You know, pay attention to the little things and the detail. And boy, I tell you what, there's a lot more of the game than I was missing before I did take his advice.
For me, every year that I get to go down to spring training and be on his field is really enlightening for me. I thoroughly enjoy it and am honored just to share and pick up on, you know, some of the finer points of the game that TK has to offer.
Tom's final year of managing was 2001. The year the renaissance of Twins baseball began. When he turned the reins over to Ron Gardenhire, TK did not leave the Twins. Instead, he took on more of a teaching role. And to this day, if you watch him work at spring training or when he roams the minor league clubs, you'll see the passion he has in teaching the game of baseball. In Fort Myers, TK is often found holding court on field number 6, which is adjacent to the main field. It's where the infielders work daily on all the little things that make them a big leaguer, and where pitchers work on their fielding and footwork. It only makes sense that on that field, where the fundamentals are so important and where the Twins way is illustrated on a daily basis, that Tom Kelly's name is on that field. Tonight, the Twins announced that field number 6 in Fort Myers is now and forever known as Tom Kelly Field. Yeah. That's not good. We went through this once. You shouldn't have... Because those fundamentals are important at all levels, we wanted to carry the Tom Kelly legacy to the Little Leagues in Minnesota. So tonight, the Twins and the Twins Community Fund's Field for Kids program are very proud to announce that renovation and renaming of a Maplewood ball field is now in order. Maplewood is the community TK has lived in for a long time, and that community is providing a matching grant for this to happen. Please welcome a man who learned the importance of drilling the fundamentals from TK and benefits every year from TK's continued presence as an instructor. President manager of the Minnesota Twins, Ron Gardenhire.
See you. I haven't normally right above the dugout. They asked me to come up here and say a few things. First, congratulations to Sharon and Tommy. Fantastic folks. Proud of you and happy for you. TK's a good friend. He helped get me an opportunity to be a manager. He first brought me up as one of his coaches and stuck me at third base and told me to do the best I could. Watch people get thrown out. I did plenty of that. Had the opportunity to be there and win a World Series. Didn't get much better than that. I think as coaches, I look around, Suchi and and Rennie and all those guys that were with us, and then my coaching staff, who's all been under Tom. Doesn't get any better than that, folks. We sat in that dugout and had an opportunity to watch a man work and make it fun and respect the game. And he taught us all how to respect the game. And that's play the whole game. What was your saying? Give me good or give me bad, but just give it to me. And that's what TK gets out of players. You getting a field named after you in spring training, Tom, you're really going to screw up Stelly's program. Field 6, now what the hell are we going to do? I'll just leave it at that. One little tidbit. We were talking about how you see things and you pay attention to details. Some of the details that we paid attention to were TK in the clubhouse. He used to walk around with this white pair of underwear. And one of these clubbies always used to write on it, "Ooh, you're a 10. Well, Tom, I'm here to tell you, baby, no one else will be a 10 now except you. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2012 Minnesota Twins here this evening. Come on out, guys. With the current Twins team providing TK with a signed replica of the number 10 hanging from the second deck on Target Field, the Twins organization as a whole would now like to present Tom with a very special gift.
I think I was supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you took it.
Oh, you know what? That's right. Well, it's well known that TK has another great sporting passion, and that is racing. He's owned greyhounds and racehorses and has been known to frequent tracks around the country, and maybe even wagering a few quinellas, trifectas, and daily doubles in the process. But his baseball schedule has never allowed him to enjoy the day every May where the sporting world focuses completely on horse racing. The Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs. But next May, TK will be watching the Run for the Roses. The Twins are sending Tom and his wife Sharon to Louisville for the 2013 Kentucky Derby. They'll have clubhouse seats, be wined and dined for 3 days of the best horse racing in America. Good luck, TK. It's time to officially retire number 10 in honor of Tom Kelly. Standing by on the balcony to reveal the latest addition to the retired numbers are former clubhouse managers Jim Wiesner and Jim Dunn. It was TK's clubbies that selected the number 10 for the new manager in 1987, and it made the most sense for these two men to be here tonight, as number 10 will never be worn by any other Twins player, manager, or coach. Fans, now please welcome the owner and chief executive officer of the Twins, Jim Pohlad.
Hello, everyone, and thank you all for being here on this great day. Tom Kelly is a leader of teams that created indelible memories for me, our family, Twins fans everywhere, and the state of Minnesota. Tom Kelly is a wonderful friend to my mother and father and to our family. Number 10, Tom Kelly, is a number and a person that could be honored in any major league ballpark in the country. But we are fortunate to have it here at Target Field. We were and still are blessed to have Tom Kelly, number 10, as a Minnesota Twin. And now we will be blessed forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 10, Tom Kelly. Tommy, yes, sir, you're right there, buddy.
Thank you. You're going to be looking over me. Never looked over you. What? Justin wants to tell us a story. You want to tell that story? No. Well, we were working first base, doing defense, trying to get him prepared to play in the big leagues. And I came in after a game the next day, and I said, how'd we do? And he drops on me, well, I got 2. It's and 3? 1 for 3. And that was whoopee-doo. And I said to him, no. Did we win or lose the game? Oh, man. He didn't even remember if we won. But he got 1 hit. Is that the way it went? Pretty much? No, but he turned out pretty good at first. Yeah, that wasn't necessary, was it? I'll do the best I possibly can to keep this short. When I was in the dugout as the manager, whether we were at home or on the road, I wish you'd sit down, please. Where was I? And there was ever these events or promos or shows. Selfishly, I would hope they get over because I wanted the game to start so bad that, come on, let's get this moving. So in that thought, I'm going to try to keep it moving. I need to read this short speech. I would rather ad-lib like Kent did, but today that might not work out. Some months ago, Ron Gardenhire said to me, Tom, this is really a big deal. And as this date got closer and closer, I realized Gardy was right. I said to myself, I'm going to have to make a speech. And what better way
to start a speech is to see some of our starters that we had as a manager and the starters you got to enjoy as fans. And so I'm going to ask all the starters, Frankie, please, stand up, please. Come on, Frankie. Jackson. Where's my friend Brad? Not too bad? Not too bad right there. Our intelligence level goes way up. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, Jack. That's a good start. The day has turned out to be a big event for me and my family and friends, neighbors. I've tried to get everybody involved, and we had quite a day in our neighborhood out in Maplewood, and everybody seemed to have a good time, and if you didn't have a good time, it was your own fault. As we all can see, there are a lot of people here that traveled a good ways to be here, and I appreciate it very much. And before I forget, I need to say hello to my good friend Wheelock. Wheelock, thank you. Thank you. You know what I'm talking about. Gardy knows. But I need to introduce my daughter, Sharon. Please stand up. Please, come on. She came from Florida. My brother, Joe, from New Jersey. My son, Tom. Everybody knows Tom from 1991. He was one of our bat boys. Helped get it done. Thank you. And, of course, there's a lot of friends from New Jersey and Florida and my wife's family, Bill and Claudette, my in-laws, my father-in-law. They're not going to get up, but that's okay. And my wife's brothers and sisters, and they have so many here, we couldn't introduce them all. But we appreciate you all being here. Trying to prepare for this, I made some phone calls to some friends who excel in this area, and they encouraged me to speak about myself. They said it was time. Believe me, I'm not thrilled about that at all. The game is not about the manager. It's not about the coaches, media, front office people, none of those. It is certainly not about any umpire either. God forbid, help us. It's about the players. The players are the ones that you come to see. They're the ones you come to watch. They're the ones you cheer for. And once the players screw up, then you scream at the manager. Right, Gordy? Yeah. That's how that goes down. The Twins have a rich history and a tradition in baseball that's second to none in my mind. I know the Yankee Stadium, they got all them monuments, things like that, the house that Ruth built and all that. But we have a pretty good tradition of baseball, and most of that is sitting right here in front of you and off to our third base side. How lucky we are. Thank you. Most managers have some rules or club policies that they need to have in place, some structure. Things we believe in, are necessary to succeed. That being said, we ask the players to be on time, prepare for the game, run the balls out, play all 9 innings, and most importantly, be ready for that first inning. We don't want to lose the game in the first. Fundamentals were very important to me, and I believe it's carried right down. Gardy is insistent upon it. We work at it. We practice them. We try to make the game better for you fans. The players do the things the right way. On defense, make the plays they're supposed to make. Occasionally make a real good play that might get you on ESPN. Offense, be able to bunt the ball when the manager needs you to bunt the ball. Be ready for the ball in the dirt. And when you hit that bloop to left field, Run like hell, right, Danny? Oh, that was a line drive. No, that was a blue. And remember, you had the bat handle in your hand. But it was a double, and that double won the World Series. During the course, thanks, Danny. During the course of a season, the players get many opportunities to be successful. They're put in positions by the manager so they can be a hero at times. And everybody gets that chance. And once you understand having that chance as a team and everybody pitching in together, that's when you become successful. Starting pitching doesn't hurt either. I was trying to find the right way to close, and we're missing a few people that I wish were here. Calvin Griffith, George Brophy, they gave me a chance. Certainly Carl and Eloise, especially Ann and Joe. I can see Bobby Dory helping the players. I can hear Bob Casey batting third, number 34, calling the play-by-play, Herb Carnell, and of course, the shining star above your car, the dark man, Dark Star. I get the question, what is the best time of the day? And I always answered it when the game starts. You get an opportunity to see the players compete. They get after it. They practice hard. They worked hard. They expect good things to happen. And if you work hard, there will be some good things that happen. Sometimes you have to be patient. It might not be today, tomorrow, but it's going to happen. Those who work hard succeed. You develop an edge over the next guy. If you don't have an edge, you can't compete. That being said, finding the way to close, I got some closers, and they're going to stand up because I asked them to. Jeff, please. Aggie. I'm missing one. Mr. Eddie. Gardy called Eddie. Thank you, Eddie. Gardy got to call Joe Nathan. And hopefully Glenn Perkins is going to take that spot next. We'll see. How much did they do for us in our history? They're beautiful. I figured out the best time of the day is when your pitching coach calls the bullpen. Stelly, let's get these fellas ready. We got a hell of a chance to win. Let's have some fun tonight. Thank you very much.
Number 10, TK, Tom Kelly. To commemorate this evening, TK will deliver a ceremonial first pitch. On the receiving end is the longest ever tenured coach in Twins history, a number of TK's staff during his entire managerial area, bullpen coach Rick Stelmazik. Congratulations, Tom Kelly. And fans, thanks for being part of this historic night of Twins baseball. Now, enjoy tonight's game. Thank you.
And let's hope, in honor of Tom Kelly, the Twins can play a fundamentally sound ball game and win tonight over the Cleveland Indians. First pitch is coming up in just a couple of moments. Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Burger King. Come play family food where every game piece has a prize. Tom Kelly's number 10 has now officially been retired. A nice ceremony, and so many former players managed by Tom made a point of being in attendance here tonight. Some, however, could not be here. Some, believe it or not, still playing the game of baseball, like Gold Glove winner Torrey Hunter.
Tom Kelly, man, he caught me in my young years, and he's taught me a lot of different things, man. At the time when you're a young guy, you didn't know the things that he's trying to teach you. You thought maybe it was a dictatorship or he's making everybody, go to right field. But I thank him because now that I'm older, I pull the ball, but whenever I get in the funk, I know how to go to right field because of Tom Kelly. On defense, I mean, this guy, I always say, hit the cutoff man. You miss the cutoff man, he'll call you off the field with all the fans in the stands and say, hey, come off the field, you're not hitting the cutoff man, you're not ready to play defense. And so I thank him for that because it made me a better defensive player. I can hit the cutoff man anytime I want to now. So, TK, thank you for everything.
And the Twins organization thanking Tom Kelly in a very special way, retiring the number 10. And as we said earlier and discussed last night during our telecast, this isn't just at the major league level. This is throughout the whole organization. No one will wear the number 10 in AAA, AA, or the lower levels of the minor league. So quite an honor indeed for Tom Kelly. And of course, Tom has been up here in the broadcast booth the last couple of years for a handful of games. And he's going to join us up here in the 5th inning tonight. In the meantime, the Twins have the business at hand of trying to play better baseball. That's been an issue all year long, particularly after last night's disappointing ball game. It was the first of a 10-game homestand, and the Twins are looking at this homestand as their best chance of getting out of the basement. The first team above them in the American League Central standings, the Cleveland Indians, and they lost to Cleveland in the opening game of the series last night, so they're hoping for a better game and a win tonight. Cole DeVries will be in charge of starting for the Minnesota Twins, and with some ebbs and flows along the way in his first season in the big leagues, lately a couple of starts that are encouraging as Cole DeVries has a win against the Rangers in Texas and a win against the Royals in Kansas City. A combined 11 2/3 innings and just 2 earned runs. And this following a stretch of games that Cole struggled in. So with Liam Hendricks going last night, not pitching particularly well, now Bert Blyleven, the baton is passed to Cole DeVries in the hopes that he'll be able to pitch well and deeply into the ballgame.
Well, thank you, Dick. I just got in. I don't know what you were talking about Cole DeVries, but he's had 2 very good starts in a row, and that's what they're hoping to get out of Cole DeVries here tonight. A guy that, again, it's audition time for Cole DeVries. He's pitched very well. 4 wins, 5 losses. I think the big thing for Cole since he was brought up here is his home ERA and his home record not as good on the road because of maybe some distractions here. I grew up in Southern California. When I played with the Angels at the end of my career, that first year there were a lot of distractions, a lot of people coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden that you haven't heard from in a long time, wanting tickets and all the stuff that comes with it. So hopefully he can get that behind him and focus on one thing, and that's especially getting through the first 2 innings. 27 of the 46 runs he's given up as a starter have come against Cole DeVries in the first 2 innings. So very important here tonight for Cole DeVries to go out and get some early outs.
So DeVries taking the field. The Twins have lost 82 ball games, and it just seems like they've lost half of those 82 ball games in the first few innings, as you say.
Absolutely.
The Menards batting order for the Indians. Shin-Soo Choo leading off. Jason Kipnis batting second. Asdrubal Cabrera third. Carlos Santana. Michael Brantley. Russ Kanzler had quite a game last night, including his first major league home run. Cord Phelps, Jack Hanahan, and Ezekiel Carrera.
And on the mound is Cole DeVries, 4-5 on the year, 4.41 ERA, making his 16th start. This is his first career start against the Cleveland Indians. And we talked a little bit about his last 2 starts. He's 2-0. Very good 1.54 ERAs. Only allowed 2 earned runs over his last 2 starts. A total of 11 2/3 innings.
Northland 4 defense for the Twins. An outfield again of Domit, Revere, and Parmalee. Trevor Plouffe at third, Pedro Florimon at short, Jamie Carroll getting second base, Justin Morneau at first, and Joe Mauer back behind the plate. Well, the Twins now 3 games behind the Indians, but there are 3 games left to play with the Indians in this series. Then 3 games with Kansas City, 3 games with Chicago. And we mentioned it last night, Bert, this is a good homestand for the Twins if they are going to pick up any ground and move out of last place. The next homestand is going to be a little bit tougher with the Yankees and Tigers coming to town.
Well, you know what? No matter what you do in your life, you set goals, whether they're short-term or long-term goals. And no club wants to be in last place in your division. So hopefully the Twins can start stringing some wins together to get back out of, get out of last place.
June and July felt like August, and August felt like August. This feels like September. 68 degrees. Beautiful night for baseball. And Shin-Soo Choo will lead things off for the Indians. And a first pitch strike on the outside corner.
And that's a good start right there. Stay aggressive, work quick. That's one thing that Rick Anderson has talked to Cole DeVries about, is picking up the pace a little bit.
Missing the inside corner, 1-1.
And it's not over rushing, it's just doing what he's right there on the mound. Okay, get set, deep breath, look for the sign, let's go. Going to have better defense behind you.
Down low, 2-1. Last night the Twins scored the first 4 runs of the game and then saw Liam Hendricks unable to protect that lead.
It seemed like, and even Ron Gardenhire said there was no tempo to the game. That's why as a starter you control the tempo of the ball game by the way you go about your business, especially the first 2 or 3 innings, by being aggressive.
Breaking ball up high, 3-1.
Pretty good control for Cole DeVries. 17 walks in 82 innings pitched.
Kipnis on deck. He's the designated hitter tonight. And a liner over the head of Florimon. And the pitch, or the count rather, ran out to 3-1, and Choo lines a single.
Shades of last night, exactly. Liam Hendricks fell behind 3-1. Choo got a fastball and hit it to left field.
Kelly's initials scratched into the dirt behind the mound. We were down on the field. You got a pretty good seat for the festivities tonight. How was it down there?
TK is so down to earth. He's not going to give the speech that people are going to remember. He's just a good baseball man, just a good person, and one heck of a manager.
Kipnis at the plate with Choo at first, a threat to steal. Outside, ball 1. So DeVries, other than the pitch hit into left field, delivered a strike on the first pitch to Choo, and he's missed with every other pitch.
Yeah, Cole pretty quick home. Only 3 attempts of a stolen base against him, and 2 have been successful. He's had only 3 double plays turned behind him. And he misses up in the strike zone.
Two 2-0. There's a strike. One advantage the Indians have over the Twins, and frankly one of the reasons they're ahead of the Twins in the standings, this guy and the next hitter, their shortstop, they're set up the middle. Figures for a long time. Kipnis has done really well this year. He's cooled off quite a bit after a wonderful first half, and then Cabrera signed to a multi-year deal, and where the Twins are still trying to sort things out and find their shortstop and find their second baseman, there are no such issues in Cleveland. They have a lot of other ones, but those 2 positions seem to be set. 2-1. 3-1. DeVries fell behind 3-1 to Chu, gave up a single. Now it's 3-1 to Kipnis.
So you put the hitter in the offense if you consistently fall behind an account, because you're going to have to come in with a fastball, maybe a little hit and run. Chu, again, very good speed at first base, 18 stolen bases.
And a walk after the base hit. First and second, nobody out.
Well, Dale Scott, the crew chief, behind the plate here tonight as we take a look. I think the way that Joe kind of caught that ball, he kind of brought it down. So even though Fox Track said that it may have been a strike.
Now Cabrera, first and second, nobody out. And a breaking ball over for a strike.
A Cabrera switch hitter, hitting .271 as a left-handed hitter, .261. 10 of his 14 home runs have come from the left side of the plate. Cabrera, only 26 years old, already in his 6th season with the Indians.
Taken low, 1-1.
Yeah, what the Indians did, they signed Cabrera to a 2-year contract, and earlier this year they also signed the guy on deck, Santana, to a 5-year contract. So trying to lock up some of the talented players they have.
Pulled foul, and it's 1-2. Indians, as we said last night, were in first place for 40 days this year. They got off to a good start last year and then fell into a tailspin in the second half of the year. And roughly the same thing has happened. There's Sandy Alomar Jr. standing next to Manny Acta. Got him looking. So Cabrera on a breaking pitch is called out on strikes, 1 away.
Well, a curveball that started down the middle of the plate and then worked on the inner half of the plate. And a strike. So DeVries picks up a strikeout, his 57th in 82 innings pitched.
And now Santana. He is hit into 13 double plays. High, ball 1.
Santana, a switch hitting catcher, hitting .232 as a left-handed hitter. Came over to the Angels from the Dodger organization back in 2008 in the Casey Blake trade.
Inside.
Came over from the from the Dodger organization to the Indians for Casey Blake.
Fouled back, 2-1. In his first exposure to big league pitching, he hit .260, and the Indians thought, well, we're on our way here. He's going to be better than that as he gains more experience, and in fact, just the opposite has happened. He had a down year in 2011, and his numbers this year are down, not in terms of batting average, but run production. That is going to be a double play. A busted bat, 1 hoppers. Carroll to Florimon to Morneau, and DeVries pitches out of a jam in the first. some in-game instruction from Rick Anderson. Menard's batting order for the Twins in Game 2. Ben Revere, Jamie Carroll, Joe Mauer, Josh Willingham, Justin Morneau, Ryan Domit, Chris Parmalee, Trevor Plouffe, and Pedro Florimon.
And the Twins lineup facing Zach McAllister for the second time this year. McAllister wants to forget about his other meeting against the Twins. That came back in Cleveland on August 6th, where the Twins scored 10 runs off of them in the second inning. Now 7 were unearned, but he did give up back-to-back home runs to Josh Willingham and Justin Morneau. So not a very good outing, but overall he's making his 18th start, his second career start against the Twins.
In that game, not against McAllister. Here's Revere taking strike 1. The 3, 4, and 5 batters all homered. In fact, Justin Morneau homered twice in the game, just once against McAllister.
The Twins won that ball game 14-3 against the Indians. Scott Diamond got some very nice run support.
Yes. 1-1 to Revere, and a check swing, 2-1.
Scouting report on McAllister. Good fastball in the low 90s. He'll mix in a curveball and a changeup.
Last couple starts have been difficult ones for McAllister. 3-1 against Oakland and Texas. Total of 9 1/3 innings and a dozen earned runs and 6 home runs.
Yeah, 4 of them to the Rangers. No surprise. I mean, they can hit the ball a long way.
3-1 to Ben Revere. And a 5-pitch walk puts him aboard. Northland Ford defense for the Indians. Ezekiel Carrera in left. Michael Brantley in center. Shin-Soo Choo in right. Jack Hanahan is Drupal Cabrera. Cord Phelps. Russ Kanzler, the infielders. And Santana back behind the plate.
Well, for McAllister, that was his 30th walk on the year in 99 1/3 innings pitched. And a speedy Ben Revere at first base. 32 stolen bases.
40's a nice round number, and that's where I think Ben's going to end up in terms of stolen bases. I think he's got 8 of them left this year.
All right, McAllister, so far there have been 12 stolen bases attempts against him, and they have all been successful.
Yeah. Revere not on the first pitch, and Carroll takes up high, ball 1.
And you could almost see why off that first pitch toward home plate. McAllister at 6'6" with that long arm and the high leg kick.
There's a strike on the outside corner. 1-1. Revere diving back to the bag. As I said on your way up here, wouldn't it be nice if the Twins fundamentally played a very sound game tonight in honor of Tom Kelly?
Yes, that would be nice.
It's not the case last night. And Carroll takes strike 2. The Indians, not unlike the Twins, they've restructured their rotation quite a bit from the start of the year. Derek Lowe was there at the beginning. He's gone. Josh Tomlin has had Tommy John surgery now. He's out of the rotation. They've changed pitching coaches. Jimenez and Masterson are still in the rotation, but they've hardly been reliable or predictable in any way.
Yeah, the Twins, as far as a starting staff, last in the American League at ERA at 5.49, and the Indians 13th in the American League with a combined 5.24 ERA. So both these ball clubs have to look at this year and say, we need these starters to go deeper in the ballgame and be more successful.
Last night, the Indians won by a run. That's the one thing they've done well. They played well in one-run games. They're 19-8 in one-run games. And Kanzler, a big part of it, his first home run, driving in 2, getting the Indian comeback started. They were into the right field corner, but it's back in the seats.
McAllister, 24 years old, originally signed by the Yankees in 2006. Traded over from the Yankees to the Indians in the Austin Kearns trade back in August of 2010. Made 4 starts last year. 0-1 with a very high ERA.
There have been 5 pitches to home plate and 4 throws to first so far. And Carroll takes a call, 3rd strike. And Revere, surprisingly, is still at first.
Let's take a look at the GMC keys to the game, and it's about Tom Kelly here today is saying is we're all in this boat together. Everybody grab an oar. TK at his finest right there. I mean, it's so true. But you know what, Dick, that's no matter what you do, whatever business you're in. You know, you want to work with your teammates and hopefully be successful. Tom Kelly was a very successful manager.
Outside, ball 1 to Mauer. You played for a lot of different teams, a lot of different clubhouses, for a lot of different managers. The impression I get is that sometimes in big league clubhouses there are factions or cliques that form within the roster of 25. And I don't think that was ever the case with Tom. I mean, I'm talking about everybody grabbing an oar. Kirby Puckett not only was treated the same as Mark Davidson, but he didn't want any special treatment.
Right.
And I know, boy, you can look up and down the standings and you can read the newspapers and hear about clubhouse issues, but sometimes the teams Tom managed weren't the best, but I never got the sense that there were any of those cliques that formed.
But you see the numbers that are retired now with the 10 out there. It starts with Harmon Killebrew. He was that way.
Fly ball to center, and going back is Brantley to make the catch on the edge of the track, and Revere was playing it halfway and couldn't recover to advance.
You know, Dick, I think that really goes back to Harmon Killebrew, Rod Carew, Tony Oliva. They kind of set the stage for the organization when it came here in '61. And then you have Kent Herbeck, you have Gary Gaetti, Tom Bernansky, guys that were leaders. And then you throw in a Puckett a couple years later in '84, and it just carried, you know, it was kind of a torch that all these guys had that carried right into, you know, the success that the Twins have had under Tom Kelly.
Revere still at first. Now 2 away, and here's Willingham.
And that has to come from everyday players. You know, you could be a pitcher like a Jack Morris or something, and you go out there every 4th or 5th day and you do your thing. But it's the guys, the Dan Gladdens that go out there day in and day out, that grind. Those are the leaders of your ball club.
1-0 to Willingham.
And this is one guy right here, Josh Willingham. He wants to play. Even though he's hurting a little bit, he wants to finish his season strong.
Drove in 3 runs last night for the Twins with a pair of doubles. Down and away, 2-0.
Career high 33 home runs, a career high 101 RBIs. Not bad for his first season in a Twins uniform.
There goes Revere, and the pitch fouled away, and Santana got stung by the foul tip. Pair of doubles for Willingham, 1 each way.
Yeah, that was a big double right there. That gave the Twins a 4-0 lead in the 3rd inning. And then in the 8th inning, an RBI double that scored Joe Mauer. Now he'd just like to get a base hit. Or just hit one out of the ballpark.
McAllister's done a nice job keeping Revere at first. He's only headed for second base once, and that was on the last pitch that was fouled off. Ooh, strike call, 3-1. That pitch looked like that was well outside.
And I think Josh Willingham's asking Dale Scott about that pitch right there. Fastball away. Wow.
Difference between a 3-1 count and a 2-2 count.
We saw some very inconsistency last night behind home plate.
Revere goes, and it's ball 3, and Santana's throw not in time, and a rare feet first slide for Ben Revere. What's up with that? I don't know that I've ever seen him slide feet first before.
Well, Ben Revere does get into scoring position, his 33rd stolen base of the year, and from his knees, Santana, a one-hop throw.
Wasn't the smoothest feet first slide. Kind of rolled into the base, but he got there. So now a full count to Willingham. First base open and Morneau on deck. '20th pitch of the inning for McAllister. And in the dirt, blocked by Santana. Willingham draws another walk. So the Twins in the ball game last night scored their first run without a hit, and now they're threatening in the first inning without a hit here tonight.
Yeah, he wasn't even close with that curveball right there. You want to try to fool a hitter, but that curveball, it's almost like he wanted to kind of just walk Willingham. He didn't want to throw him a cookie right there.
Now Morneau. Morneau 2 for 2 with a home run against McAllister. And he's got a chance to do some first inning damage here.
That changeup missing. He's missed with a curveball. I would imagine as a hitter you look for that fastball. Get something you can drive.
21 pitches, just 9 strikes for McAllister. Lifted to left. And Carrera gloves it to end the inning. A couple of walks are left aboard, no score after 1. The World Championship clubs and their manager Tom Kelly. Ron Coomer, you played for Tom Kelly toward the end of his managerial career. Your thoughts about the honor bestowed on him tonight?
Well, it's well deserving, obviously, and he's made such an impact as everybody that was on the field, as he talked about, you know, the different players that played. But, you know, for me personally, he gave me a chance in the big leagues. I got traded here, and Terry Ryan brought me here, and Tom Kelly wrote my name in the lineup and kept writing it in there for a long time, and it's one of those things you appreciate the manager doing. But the one thing that really stands out to me is learning the game from Tom and understanding how the game is supposed to be played And then in game, how he managed the game, and he made everybody on the bench and in the field accountable to understanding what was going to happen and what moves were going to be made. And I really, learned an extreme amount of strategy through Tom Kelly, but the way he managed the ball game, it was just a lot of fun with the chess matches going back and forth, as you saw Tony La Russa earlier. So it was a lot of fun to play for him, but it was a learning thing for all of us who were sitting down on the field today.
Hey, Ron, I thought it was really funny because when Tom Kelly started his speech, he turned around, there's Justin Morneau, and he encountered one of the first time that he talked to Justin about, Justin went 1 for 3, and TK asked him, did you guys win or lose? And Justin didn't know, and that was typical Tom Kelly. Hey, yeah, you won 1 for 3, but, did you win? That's the most important thing.
How'd the game go? Did you do your job on defense? Did you show up for every pitch? And those were the things that, guys get hits, and sometimes you do, you don't. But he wanted you to make sure that you played every pitch, and that was his thing. The most, one of the unbelievably fitting things also is that half field being named Tom Kelly Field.
That's great.
Good God, my arm, I almost threw that sucker out on that field, taking ground balls from TK.
Bluth charges, fumbles it. And Kanzler will reach. Hey, Ron, you played for Tom Kelly here, and then Joe Torre in New York. And who else did you play for in your big league career, the managers?
Don Baylor and Jim Tracy.
Okay. So
Donnie in Chicago and Jimmy in L.A.
Those 4 guys, and I'm not going to ask you to rank them, but what was different about playing for Tom than playing for those other 3 distinguished managers?
Well, I think the one thing with the teams that I played for in Minnesota, we were a young team. They had, kind of broken up the World Series team of '91, and I got here as Herbeck had just left and some guys had just left. There were only a few guys from the World Series team. So he had to do a lot of teaching, and guys had to learn in the big leagues. And he was fine with that. He was happy. And for a year and a half, he hit me ground balls every day, and I hit in his group that he threw batting practice. You had to learn the game, and he wanted to know that you understood what it was like to be a big league baseball player and what it took. That was the one thing that he brought to the table. In New York, Joe Torre didn't have to do a lot of teaching. He had to do a lot of handling of personalities.
Right.
But that was the big difference that I saw in Tom, and he was phenomenal at teaching, that's for sure.
Russ Kanzler being given credit for a hit.
That's not a hit right there. That's a play that Bluth's got to make. But instead it's an infield base hit. Second hit off of DeVries.
Cord Phelps is the batter. He's got a 1-1 count. DeVries got out of the first inning with a ground ball double play. And up and away, 2-1.
Yeah, Phelps a September call-up. Down in AAA Columbus, he hit 276 in 135 ball games.
.27 pitches, just 13 strikes for DeVries so far. And now 3-1. Been a challenging year for Rick Anderson. The entire rotation in September is different than the one that was in the rotation in April, with the exception, I guess, of Liam Hendricks. Hendricks was in the rotation in April, but almost by default. Fouled back, 3-2.
You know, I just look at these starters night after night. Maybe other than Scott Diamond, it's almost like these guys are afraid to attack the strike zone. It's like they don't trust their stuff rather than just going right at them. The velocity is there, 90, 91. I mean, that's you don't have to throw 95, 96 miles an hour if you can hit your spots. Keep the ball down.
Scott Diamond tops out of 91, 92.
Right, but he's, you know, he hits his spots.
Runner goes and Phelps fouls it to the screen.
And sometimes, believe me, as a pitcher, you have to just say, basically, here it is. I'm going to challenge you. Try to hit it. Sometimes they did. A long way. But always got a new ball back.
And usually the game continued on.
Well, it's the pace. Already 30 pitches here with, 1 out here in the second inning. Liam Hendricks last night threw almost 50 pitches in 2 innings.
3-2 runner goes. Pitch lifted to left center. Domet chasing it. The runner is rounded second base. Kanzler hustling back. Floramone's throw nearly got him. We've seen Floramone make strong throws from his shortstop position. This from short left center field, and he nearly doubled off Kanzler.
Yeah, not only a strong throw by Floramone, also a good play by Domet, because he got that ball to that cutoff man very quickly. Made the catch, got it to the cutoff man, and a very close play. Justin has to worry more about the short hop right there than maybe keep his foot on the bag. Boy, it would have been close if his foot maybe was on the bag.
Here's Jack Hanahan. And there is strike one.
Hanahan, a couple hits in last night's ball game, a single and a double.
Breaking ball down and in. 1-1. Yeah, we've played just about 40 minutes here tonight, and we're in the top of the second inning. And McAllister's been guilty of the same thing DeVries has been guilty of. Not attacking the strike zone and taking too much time between pitches. And it seems like every count is 2-1 and 3-1.
Jack Hanahan in his second season with the Indians came up with the Tigers in 2006. Also spent time with the Oakland A's and the Seattle Mariners. He's had a tough time hitting at the major league level.
2-1 to Hanahan. Lonnie Chisenhall, they figure, is their third baseman of the future. They thought the future was starting this year, but then Chisenhall got hit by a pitch and was put on the disabled list. They hope to get a couple weeks worth of play out of him at the end of September. In the meantime, Hanahan gets more time on the field. And a liner to center, a base hit. Kanzler advances to second. First and second, 2 away for the number 9 batter, Ezekiel Carrera. The next Crystal Farms Kids Day is tomorrow. The Twins host the Indians, and if you get to the game early for Kids Day autographs and free string cheese, courtesy of Crystal Farms. After the game, kids can run the bases at Target Field, presented by Gillette Children's Hospital. Tickets and more details available on Sunday's Crystal Farm Kids Days at twinsbaseball.com and 833 Twins. Here's Carrera, first and second, 2 down. Breaking ball, missing low. 3 hits, although I would agree with you, Kanzler's at bat should not be scored a hit but an error. Maybe that'll be changed.
Carrera just 25 years old in his second season with the Indians. He got called up from AAA when the Indians released Johnny Damon. Singles type hitter with good speed.
Three 3-0 to the number 9 batter. Shin-Soo Choo would hit next.
It's already the 4th 3-ball count.
Fastball, strike 1.
As I mentioned before, you fall behind now yourself, fastball for strike 1. Now you almost have to come back with it again.
Bounce to first. Morneau has it. DeVries to the bag, and DeVries again pitches out of trouble in the second inning. Ken Herbeck will be our guest. We'll talk about his manager during his Twins tenure. Tom Kelly. Minnesota, not far from where I grew up, a little bit south of Dumont, Minnesota. We're happy to have another Minnesota native with us, Ken Herbeck. And Ken, we talked that Tom was your manager during the glory years of your tenure, but you came up in '81. Billy Gardner, I believe, was your first manager, right? Then a little bit with Ray Miller, and then TK.
Yeah, there wasn't too many glory years at the start. We took our loss. Matter of fact, I had that conversation with Joe Mauer in the dugout today. I was talking with Joe about the season this year and getting it over with. And you still got to play. You still got to go out there and play. You still got to go out and put on the show. And I said, "Hey, Joe, I had many of these kind of seasons. And there was a lot of seasons where we were bad."
Hey, Herbie, what made TK, in your opinion, such a good manager?
Well, I try to touch on it to make you respect the ball game, and I don't know what it was. He just had something that made you want to play for him, and go out there and do the best you could, and give it all on the field while you're out there. And he was pretty happy with the people that come and watch you. I mean, go put on a show. Well, that's a home run in the silo right there.
Cabrera comes in to make the catch one away. Hey, you went through Billy Gardner. You guys had that terrible year in '82. And Ray Miller came in from outside the organization. And then finally it was resolved that Tom would get the job full time during the offseason in '87. Now, I'm sure they didn't ask you, but if they had asked you, would he have been your #1 choice?
Well, I didn't know him that well yet. I had him in the minor leagues. I had him in spring training. I had him managing or coaching the team, managing the team. No, the consensus was, Viola played for him in the minor leagues. Gaetti did. Laudner did. Randy Bush. Those guys had all played for him. They said, why don't they let TK manage? I mean, we all played with him, played for him, and it was kind of a consensus between us all guys that were playing at the time. Boy, if they ask us, let's tell them who we want to manage the team. And of course, TK was coaching third base and knew us all. And they gave him the shot. And, the rest is history, I guess is what to say.
The names, as I recall, that were being considered at the time, Jim Fry, the veteran manager, Ralph Houck, I think, was under consideration as well. Marmoley taps it to the right side, and he's easily retired, 2 down.
I think TK just instilled Gardy's still trying to go today. Use that fundamentals to win ball games. Throw strikes, keep your players in the game, be aggressive at the plate, do the right things in the field, do the right things on the base pass. Try to do everything right. You got a lot better chance.
I always see TK going batting practice with that cigar, just having a good time, and he expected everybody to have a great time. But boy, once that game started at 7:10, boy, you better be, focused in on what your job is, and that's to bring home a win.
Right. And he made notice of it tonight, and during the speech, when the guys were, and I looked at over all the guys when he said it, he said, be ready for the first inning. I don't know if you remember that, but all the time when you get in the dugout, and the game was going to start, all right, guys, let's be ready to play the first inning. Don't be thinking about what you're going to do. Let's be ready to play the first inning and go from there.
Luke lifts it foul over the Twins dugout.
He said, I don't want to lose the game in the first inning.
Right.
So be ready.
That was his speech, I know, before the All-Star game in 1992 out in San Diego. And the American League scored like 7 runs in the first inning, and he said something to the thing, hey, we're ready, but I had to send Kevin Brown out to hit because Brown was a starting pitcher and he hadn't hit all year long, but the American League batted around in the first inning. The slogan that he used in the promotion tonight, grab an oar, we're all in this together. The sense I got was, Andy McPhail talked about it. Tom would be in the clubhouse playing cards with you guys. he just really, there wasn't that huge separation between manager and player.
Not at all. His door was always open. You could talk to him anytime you wanted to. Like I said, when he walked in the room, if we were doing something or goofing around the clubhouse and he walked in, we kept goofing around in the clubhouse. It didn't make a difference. A lot of managers, if they walked in the room, the guys were kind of, whoa. Right. We just kept on. He might come in and throw some more gas on the fire and get it going.
Move takes in the dirt, 2-2.
I think, at the end of the 86 season when TK took over, there was that almost relief, I think, from a lot of us in that clubhouse that, hey, you know what? Everybody knew TK was a third base coach. He just made everybody feel comfortable. You knew what his rules were.
But Bert, too, TK was a hard guy to get to know.
Yeah, he was.
He talked baseball all the time. If you weren't a baseball person, you had a hard time talking to TK.
Popped up behind third. Carrera crossing the foul line. Makes the catch. A 1-2-3 second. And with that, we thank Ken Herbeck for coming by the booth.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks, Yep.
To U.S. Cellular Field, Game 2 between the White Sox and the Royals. Paul Konerko lifting one out into the bullpen against Bruce Chen. The White Sox hanging on to win the ball game 5-4. They had to play without Adam Dunn, who retweaked that oblique injury that he was coming back from when we were in Chicago. And they are hoping he'll be returning tomorrow, but a re-injury does not bode well for Dunn. He's missed some time. Here's a bunt in the air foul. That is such a delicate injury and such a a tough one to overcome without rest, and the White Sox, obviously, with the Tigers right on their heels, don't have the opportunity to give Dunn a break.
No, not here, the 9th of or the 8th of September.
One strike to Chu, and now up and away, 1-1.
And it's found out today that the Washington Nationals will have to win their division and go to postseason without Steven Strasburg.
Yes.
They shut him down.
I was interested the other day, because Strasburg is coming back from Tommy John surgery, to see that Tommy John himself said that, let him pitch. The difference, of course, is that there's a half swing and strike two. No team, Dodgers, Yankees, nobody had as much invested in Tommy as the Nationals have invested in Strasburg.
Well, Tommy John, when he had his, he was also an established veteran.
Right.
And, here you got Strasburg. His career is basically just starting.
There's a called third strike. DeVries starts the third with his second strikeout.
And Chu knew it, so the second strikeout for Cole DeVries. I mentioned at the beginning of the ballgame, 27 of the 46 runs he has given up, Cole DeVries, he has given up in the first 2 innings. Now, after that, he has really settled in nicely. 8.10 ERA in the first 2 innings. Rest of the ballgame, he's gone 7 innings a couple times in his young career. Very good 3.42 ERA.
That's up the line. It's a fair ball. And a dribbler to Morneau. To DeVries and a quick second out.
And that's what you need right there. Quick second out.
All right, you officially weigh in then on the Strasburg thing and your thoughts about this guy who might be the next Roger Clemens if he's healthy.
I would put
Roger
all right,
Clemens. I'm sorry.
I'd pick somebody else.
In terms of being the dominant pitcher of his era, he might be the guy we're talking about.
The next Justin Verlander, that type of pitcher. Okay. You know what? The thing is that, the general manager and the manager of the Washington Nationals, they've kind of put themselves behind the 8 ball because they have been saying it forever. Now, Steven Strasburg himself, I guess, has told Davey Johnson, the manager, he can't sleep. That's all he thinks about. And after his poor start yesterday, Davey Johnson thought about it. He slept on it this morning. I guess he talked to Steven Strasburg and said, you know what? If you're going to do it all mental, it's become a mental thing for you. We're just going to shut you down at a little less than 160 innings pitched. Remember they upped it one time to 180 innings.
Right.
Now it's on 160. Ron Coomer, your thoughts on Strasburg being shut down?
Well, there's a couple things. One, since Little League, you put on a uniform to try to get to the big leagues and then to play in the playoffs to win a World Series. You're wearing one of those rings. Now all of a sudden you're going to make the playoffs and now you're not going to play with your best player, or one of them. I don't get that part. And the other thing, what does that say about the other 24 guys on the team that are battling to try to play to win a World Series? To me it just sends kind of a strange message.
DeVries caught it in the breadbasket. It comes off the mound.
Deep breath.
1, 2, 3, third, and we'll check on DeVries when we come back. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. By CenturyLink, a different kind of communications company. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Grand Casino, the best stories start here. A sluggish start to the game, no score, bottom of the third. Mr. Puckett would love to have been here tonight. There's Cole DeVries, looks like
he was in spirit, believe me.
Strike one, Florimone batting. There's DeVries and the third out.
Well, you think of what David McCarthy is going through with the Oakland A's when that ball is hit back up the middle. Thank goodness they went in and checked him out after he got hit in the head. He's recovering now, and they say he's still in critical condition, but it's going to more to fair condition now.
2 strikes to Florimone and a foul. Brandon McCarthy hit in the right temple.
Excuse me, Brandon McCarthy.
In the ball game the other day, and they said even as recently as this morning he was still in a life-threatening situation because of the brain injury that they hope will heal completely. Up and away to Florimone, 1-2.
Well, you let that ball go, you end up maybe about 50, 55 feet from that hitter. That a lot of hitters like Florimone, he's that type of hitter. He wants to make good contact and hit it up the middle to get base hits.
And flared foul. Twins looking for their first hit against McAllister. They took a couple of first-inning walks. And DeVries looks to be just fine. One and 2. That's just wide of the bag. And an interesting chat today with Florimone's former hitting coach at AAA, Tom Bernansky. And Tom could not have heaped more praise on Florimone and his play at short for Rochester this year and his potential as a hitter. Hack foul. Saying that Florimone simply makes plays that are difficult look easy, and we all know he's committed 5 errors, but I think the feeling in the clubhouse is he's capable of settling down once he's used to playing up here. Tapper to the right side, backhanded by Phelps. We'll talk more about Florimone in upcoming at-bats. One down here in the third. Follow the Twins with MLB.com @bat12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, or Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and much more. Text @bat to 31826 or visit twinsbaseball.com. One down. Here's Ben Revere. And McAllister really cuffed around in his last couple of starts, and the Twins haven't hit a ball hard against him yet. Outside, ball 1. Two and 0. McAllister, the Indians hope, part of a new wave of pitchers that might include the former Fausto Carmona, now Roberto Hernandez, although they're saying now Hernandez may not pitch the rest of this year. They've got an expensive option on Hernandez for next year, 3-0. They acquired Ubaldo Jimenez to anchor the rotation, hoping that Justin Masterson would fill in either ahead of him or behind him at the top end of the rotation.
You mentioned those 3 guys, and what are all 3 of those pitchers? Good sinker ball pitchers.
3-1 to Revere. Driven foul.
And that's why I think, you can also mention that Cabrera and Kipnis very strong up the middle. And they know when they get these type of pitchers like Masterson and Jimenez and, if Hernandez, if they're on, they're going to get a lot of ground ball outs.
3-2 to Revere up the middle, and the first Twins hit. So Revere spanks it on the ground up the middle.
And there's my point. I was making that point with Florimone, even with Ben Revere. They try to hit that ball back up the middle, and that's where that biggest gap is in the infield. If you can get it by the pitcher, usually it's a base hit. See the defense play pretty much straight up for Ben Revere.
Everybody wants to hit the ball squarely, but some hitters can get by hitting the bottom half of the ball. Revere, the type of player who can get by hitting the top half of the ball.
Utilizes speed.
Here's Carroll. Driven foul. Well, the sinker ball defense extends to third base, where Jack Hanahan won the job out of spring training because he was a better defender than the aforementioned Chisenhall.
Right.
One strike to Carroll. We'll see if Revere's going to steal second again, and maybe a little earlier than he did in the first inning. He walked, and he waited until Willingham's at bat before stealing second. Side, and it's 1-1.
There's Steve Little in the middle of your screen going through signs. Jerry White at first base helping read the signs for the base runner.
Revere goes, looking in all the way on an apparent hit and run.
Yeah, and there's one thing
run right there.
McAllister's doing a good job, Bert and Dick, at changing his times to home plate. So he's holding the ball at times like the first pitch, and he's held it a long time. And it's tough for the base runner, like a hitter, to get in rhythm and sync with the pitcher. That pitch, he got set, and then he just went, and Ben took off. Ben, his first time at first, he wasn't able to get a very good read, but I think now he's starting to get a read of McAllister.
That got Carroll on the hands.
It sounded like it might have gotten the bat partially, but Carroll wincing as he goes to first. Here comes Matty Ackley. He heard the same thing I heard. It sounded like it hit the knob of the bat.
I think he's going to say it did because of Carroll's reaction. See him trying to get out of the way.
There was that hesitation, though, from Carroll. At any rate, he will advance to first, being hit by a pitch, and Revere will go to second.
For McAllister, his first hit batsman of the year. Carroll still kind of feeling that left hand.
Here's Mauer, lifted a fly ball to center, deep center, in the first inning. There go the runners, and the throw is to third base, not in time, and Revere kept that left toe on the bag. Haven't seen the Twins employ the double steal over the last couple of ball games since Mauer was thrown out at second.
I think again with McAllister, that high leg kick and then the long arm. Santana, good strong throw, but Ben Revere again slides by the bag and then just keeping that foot on the bag right there. Tell you what, if Hanahan had kept the glove with Ben Revere, he probably would have been called out.
One strike to Mauer with two runners in scoring position. So with two steals tonight already, Revere has 34 on the year, and suddenly 40 seems a lot more within reach than it did an hour ago. One and one to Mauer. Into center field, right over McAllister's cap. Carroll will be held. And Brantley throws a frisbee to the middle of the infield. Mauer driving in the first run of the game.
I tell you what, at 6'6", you wonder how McAllister was able to get down and get out of the way of that line drive. Mauer picking up his 74th RBI. That ball hit right over the back of McAllister's head into center field. Watch out.
So Ruben Niebla will come to the mound, probably trying to compose McAllister. When you can feel the ball sail behind your neck, that's got to be a little disconcerting, especially since everyone has seen the video. I'm sure every pitcher in baseball has seen the video of Brandon McCarthy.
And you saw where that pitch was, too. I mean, that ball was down and in, and Joe just dropped that barrel of the bat right back up the middle.
So the Twins get the first lead again tonight. Revere scoring, Carroll the third, still only one out, and Willingham at the plate.
Willingham a walk in the first inning.
Ryan Braun leading the National League with 100 runs batted in. So Willingham with 101 is third in all of baseball. Only 4 players in the big leagues on this date have driven in 100 or more runs, and we've got one of them. The leader is Miguel Cabrera and Josh Hamilton, each with 116. Well, Scott has given McAllister a very generous outside corner in the 2 Willingham at bats.
Yeah, he called the same pitch on Willingham, and the first time it was a bit outside. This one, pretty good pitch.
Driven to right center field. Brantley over. RBI number 102 is coming with Carroll scoring, and it's 2-0. So you don't drive in 102 by just hitting home runs. You get done what needs to get done in situations like that.
You're right, Dick. I mean, right there, you don't want to beat the ball into the ground, maybe hit into a double play. With runners at first and third, you look for something you can get in the air and hopefully deep enough for an RBI, and that's exactly what Willingham did.
And now Morneau lifted a fly ball to left his first time up.
Cole DeVries has a 2-0 lead.
And bruised ribs. One strike. One and one. Morneau hoping to get to 20 home runs before the season. 3 to go. Checks his swing, and it's 2-1. So McAllister with 65 pitches thrown. He has recorded just 8 outs. Trying to wrap up affairs here in the third inning.
22 pitches in the first, 16 in the second. That was number 28 here in the third.
Two and two. Sickening sound. What a catch. Great catch. Trying to give it to his daughter, I think. She'll throw it back on the field.
Well, where she's sitting, where they're sitting right there, she can get it on the field. Chris may want to sign her.
Look at that catch. Another 2-2 to Morneau. And now a full count. Dolman on deck. goes, and the pitch bounced foul up the line. Jerry White one-hands it.
I think the Twins would like to see Justin hit more home runs here at Target Field. 5 of his 17 home runs have been hit this season at Target Field.
And if you believe, as I do, that the Twins go as Justin goes, maybe that helps explain why the Twins have played so poorly at home this year. Ripped to right. It's going to hook foul, but he hit it a ton. Nobody one-handed that one.
McAllister has allowed 16 home runs, 8 to left-handed hitters.
And out in front, he fights off a breaking pitch.
Jerry White making a good play.
10 pitches in this at bat to Morneau. 4 two-strike fouls so far. And Mauer's getting tired of running laps here. Back in the box, another 3-2 pitch coming. Six two-strike fouls.
I almost sense that he's going to square up with one. He did it, but he hooked it foul. 72 pitches from McAllister trying to get out of the 3rd inning.
Russ Kanzler playing behind Mauer. 7 two-strike foul. He's hit him over the Twins dugout. He's hit him over the Indians dugout. He's hit him back to the screen.
He went over the Central Link side. Or U.S. Bank, we don't care.
And he ended up walking him. And Mauer's going, oh, couldn't you have done that 5 pitches ago? Got a lot of extra running in there.
3rd walk of the ballgame from McAllister. Look at Foxtrot, all those pitches. Ball 4, out of the strike zone.
So now Doman with 2 men aboard and a fresh count. McAllister's already thrown 74 pitches. Inside, ball 1.
Some action in the bullpen for the Indians. Starting to stir around a little bit.
Good news is I don't think David Huff can pitch again today. Popped up behind 3rd. It'll be chased by Hanna and Carrera and first row of seats.
No, that's not a fantasy camper. Not yet, anyway.
A recruit. One and one to Ryan Doman. He uses half. Foul back. Doman got a pitch up, fouled it straight back. A different left-hander warming up, Chris Seddon. Huff was outstanding coming out of the pen last night for the Indians. And now Doman with a 2-strike foul.
McAllister. This will be pitch number 40 this inning. Mark Gomez in last night's ball game worked the first 3 innings, gave up 4 runs to the Twins.
Here we go again. You'd be tempted to say that McAllister doesn't have a swing and a miss pitch. He does have 1 strikeout. Carroll was called out on strikes.
He came into the ball game averaging almost a strikeout per inning.
And another foul.
Came into the ball game 99 and a third innings. He had 91 strikeouts.
I'm guessing we have a crowd tonight of about 35,000, and half of them will leave home with a baseball. McAllister reloads on 1 and 2. 2 and 2. It's not the overall pitch count now 80, but what you just said, over 40 pitches in 1 inning, which I think would greatly increase the chances of him making a mistake here. Doman lifts another foul into the seats.
Justin had a 13-pitch at bat. Doman so far 8 pitches.
4 2-strike fouls for Doman. And now 3 and 2 to Doman with Parmalee on deck. Twins came into this inning without a hit, and Florimon was retired to start the inning. Then Revere's single, a hit batter, a single, a sacrifice fly, a long plate appearance, and a walk. And now Doman, with the count full, the runners will take off. And Doman lifts another foul. In the last 2 plate appearances, there have been 12 2-strike fouls. And Morneau looking at Mauer, and Mauer saying, get used to it.
Yeah, you made me do it. How many times?
A 6th 2-strike foul. McAllister and Santana chatting. Santana probably just trying to give his pitcher a bit of a break and try to milk one really good pitch out of him here.
Yeah, McAllister doing all the talking. He said, how do I get this guy out? 47th pitch of the inning. Zach McAllister.
This one in fair territory. Playable for Brantley. And the inning finally comes to a close. The Twins score the first 2 runs of the game and have a 2-0 lead. the word value, followed by a space, and the player's name to short code 234. Powers RBI single, putting him at the top of the balloting. Carlos Santana, Michael Brantley, Russ Kanzler will hit against Cole DeVries, who's given up 3 singles, a walk. Took a liner against the ribs for the 3rd out of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, what you'd like to do right here, the Twins, of course, had that long inning. Now Cole DeVries gets his warm-up tosses. Now continue to do what he did last inning, attack the strike zone. Only 11 pitches, even though that last out hurt a little bit, continue to attack the strike zone.
Santana bounced into a 4-6-3 double play, and DeVries starts him with a breaking pitch and a strike. And breaking pitch inside, missing. Left center and deep. Chased by Dolman. One down. So DeVries gets the first out of the 4th. That'll bring up Michael Brantley, who lined to Dolman his first time up. AT&T Trivia Saturday night. Who was the last Twins player to wear uniform number 10? The transition was made right before the '87 season. Tom Kelly wore number 41 as a coach and interim manager. So Lyman Bostock wore number 10, but he couldn't have been the last, I wouldn't think. Earl Batty wore number 10 long ago.
That would be somebody 86 and prior to that.
2-0 to Brantley. Two and one. Left center. And Dolman, about the same spot he caught out number 1. It's out number 2. This week in America's Game of the Week, Frank Gore and 49ers. The 49ers battle Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at Lambeau Field. Coverage begins this week with the Built, Ford and Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at 11 o'clock Central. Two down quickly. Here's Kanzler. He's hit a ball over the fence. He's gotten some other scratch singles, including his single in the 2nd on a little chopper in front of Plouffe, who mishandled the ball, but Kanzler was given credit for a base hit.
Kanzler last night hitting his first major league home run. That coming off of Liam Hendricks, a 2-run home run. A September call-up for the Indians.
Swing and miss, 1-1.
Up in our Circle Me Perk section today, we are honored to have Jim Green, U.S. Navy World War II veteran. You're with your daughter Linda, and also Mike behind you. Welcome up to the booth. Thank you for being Twin fans.
Popped up right side, Parmalee under it. 3 fly ball outs and a 1-2-3-4. DeVries has now set down 7 men in a row. Field from our GoPro shot.
Oh, happy birthday,
Steve S.
Yes.
We miss him.
Yes, we do.
And those fans do as well. Twins with a 2-0 lead. And a new Cleveland pitcher. Chris Seddon coming in for the 9th time. And he'll hope to duplicate what David Huff did last night.
Yeah, the Indians have 5 left-handers out in that bullpen in September. A lot of extra guys getting called up.
He'll face Chris Parmelee, Trevor Plouffe, and Pedro Floromo. And Parmelee drives a single up the middle on the first pitch he sees.
Well, Seddon trying to get ahead in the count with that fastball. Parmelee says, you're going to throw me a fastball, I'm going to hit it right back up the middle, which he does. So Parmelee picks up his first hit.
It's almost like Seddon was ducking before Parmelee made contact. Did you ever get that sensation out there where you knew it was going to get hit right back at you?
You knew exactly where that pitch was, and the only way they're going to hit it is back up the middle.
Here's Plouffe. Swing and a miss.
Good change up there. Seddon has some major league experience. He got called up in the first part of August by the Indians. He's also spent time with the Marlins and the Mariners at the major league level.
Another swing and a miss at the changeup. 2 strikes. Middle months of the season saw Plouffe put a stranglehold on the third base job because he was hitting home runs and he was playing okay in the field. Tapper left side, could be a double play ball. Hanahan fires off target. They still get the double play. Hanahan's throw nearly sailed into right field. That's a heck of a turn by Cord Phelps.
You know, right there at second base, we've done instructionals on this play. Never anticipate a perfect throw, and Phelps right there kept his foot on the bag and then got the out at first base. So Plouffe hitting into a double play. You can see that left foot staying on the bag. Nice defensive play by Phelps.
Here's Floromo now as a right-handed batter. Again, Tom Bernansky, Floromo's hitting coach at Rochester, very high on this young man. Both as a hitter, realizing that he's not going to win a batting title, but one hopper hit to short. Cabrera makes the play. One shortstop retires the other, and the Twins send just 3 to the plate in the 4th. number 10 retired. The entrance coming from left field, given a jersey number from his playing days, managed by Frank Quillisi. The number he gave up for Jeff Reardon. Twins presented the number 10 autographed by team members, and then finally the unveiling of the number itself.
Yeah, it was kind of cool because he had Jim Dunn and also Jim Wiesner, two clubhouse guys, reveal the number 10. And Mr. Kelly is coming into the booth now. Good to have you, TK. Thank you for joining us.
Congratulations, Tom.
Junior. Thank you, Skip.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Richard.
Are you as relieved as I imagine you are that the speech is behind you?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. We got near Bob Casey and of course our good friend and all our good friends, Herb Carneal, the legend, Twins broadcasters. I know there's been great ones, but those, for me, and I think you feel the same. That pretty much. And as you grew up,
yes.
So
listening to Herb,
yeah.
absolutely.
So there you go. So that's the way I felt about her. Thank you.
Well,
and I started losing a little bit, but I think it was Bobby Dory actually.
Yeah.
That sort of got me to start with.
Well, you need to explain. Bobby Dory was the clubhouse chef and
he
helped.
Took care of a lot of guys. And
right.
Helped them out.
Also a dark star.
Yeah, and the friends of Danny Gladden pointed out that behind the scenes, as Bert can tell you, these fellas do a lot of work to help us, and they live and die with the team, just as the players do, the coaches do, even more so. And we actually spend more time with them than we probably do with our family. So these become not your immediate family, but real close to it. So they're special, and so as I said, I tried to include everybody today that I possibly could, and my neighbors, and we had a nice party at the house, and they all were part of that, and they were all here today, and my
TK,
family.
and I think that's what makes you so special, because you remember those people.
Well,
you realize that you got to where you're at because of your hard work, your determination, and your love of the game, but you never forgot about the people that helped you get there.
And there's some people along the way that I invited today that helped me out where I needed some help and some different things, and helped my son a couple times. Some people, like John Rash, who is I think one of the most smartest people in the community. He is very gifted in speech making and pop culture type stuff, and you need a resume written. He'll show you how to get that done and properly and answer questions and interviews. So he helped my son quite a bit, and he helped me with my speech today. To be honest, he helped me. He talked me through a few things. He encouraged me to speak about myself, and I told him I don't know if that's going to be tough, but because I still believe that, and I still do, the game's about the players, and I'm very appreciative, of course, of what the Twins have done here tonight. But again, not too many people come to see the manager or the coaches, so let's be honest. They come to see those players pitch and hit and run the bases.
Down in Fort Myers now, they'll see that.
That was another ambush. I didn't like that. I got ambushed again. I told John Gordon, and he's trying to read his script, and I'm screaming at him. I said, stop the ambushes. I ain't taking it no more. I says, I can't take it. No more ambush. He's laughing, and he's trying to read. Oh, my.
Fly ball to center, playable for Revere.
Well, Colder Freeze has settled down very nicely. Now 9 straight outs.
Bert, that's the one we need for number 27 right there. 27 out.
See if he can help us with the.
I'm terrible on these things.
Who's the last Twins player to wear uniform number 10?
Lyman Bostock? Jeff Reed?
Jeff Reed.
Jeff Reed. Wow.
Yeah, I remember this. We had this once before this question.
Yeah.
And it was Jeff Reed. Now, Jeff Reed, when Tim Laubner came to the big leagues in, what was that, 81? Yes. 81. Yeah. I had to send him up before the playoffs were done in Orlando. So we're in the playoffs in Orlando, and I'm managing Orlando. And I got the call to send Timmy to the big league. So now I don't have a catcher. And, of course, he hit 40, 50 home runs, whatever he hit. And so I get Jeff Reed. And Jeff was a little slow with the bat. But with the bases loaded in the final game, he hit a dribbler down the third base line, and everybody scored. And so we end up winning the game. It was wonderful.
We're going to have more with Tom Kelly when we come back after this. Ask a question at carsoup.com/baseball. Gail Stanwyck from Edina saying, Mr. Kelly,
yeah,
which players were some of your favorites to manage?
Oh, there was a lot of good players to manage. I don't know if I had a favorite, but I'll just tell you the answer to the question in this way. I used to get the question, well, who should my son watch play or my daughter watch play? And I always said Kirby Puckett, Paul Molitor, Robin Young.
Yeah.
Because they ran all the balls out. For the most part, they caught them with two hands. And they hustled. You never seen them take a bad step on the field. Never saw them take a bad step. And that's one of the highest compliments I think a player can get, is that somebody says, well, I've never seen you take a bad step. That's hard to do. It's hard to do. You know, if you think
Especially
about backing up, you're backing up bases or whatever, and you might and get over there, but you never seen those fellows take a bad step on the field. Especially, you know, of course, our favorite, of course, would be Kirby, but Robin Young was that kind of guy. I felt he'd really give it a go. And if you beat them Brewers, and Bert knows you had to really get after it to beat them fellas. And of course, they had some great teams over there. It was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun competing against them fellas. It was because they did have some good teams.
2-2 to Ben Revere facing Seton. The Twins getting a couple of runs in the third. And Revere gets his second hit, a sharp single to center.
We still didn't get that home run yet, did we?
No, I thought in Chicago because everybody was hitting them in Chicago.
Yeah, that ball was really flying over there.
Hey,
I'd like to take a swing or two over there in Chicago.
How meaningful was it on videotape, not in person, to get a nice tribute from Tony La Russa, who was, I know, one of your favorites to manage against?
Yeah, like Bert pointed out, we very competitive against the Oaklands all the time, and we had some real battles with them fellas. And Tony's a real good ambassador for the game, and still works with the baseball commissioner now. And I hear a rumor that he got a little itch to get back. So,
is that right?
That's what I hear.
All right, let's spread the rumors. Boston, right? He's going to manage the Red Sox.
Now, let me tell you this. When we talk, when we have our talks, really managers talk, where is the premier place? And most people say Yankees, New York, Yankee Stadium. But there's a lot of people say Boston and the Red Sox and the famed Fenway Park, and I sort of think that might be right.
Really?
Yeah, I sort of do.
You know,
I know that fellow you're talking about. He thinks that too. I know that.
You were talking about resume preparation, and I wanted to ask you, your resume includes 2 World Series. Since you got out of it, have you ever been tempted or regretted that you're not managing or quit when you did?
No, I don't look back, but I get the question a lot. I've had numerous chances to go different places, good places,
Boston.
And yeah, that's one. And I just politely said no, and I'm getting close to that balk line there, Jimmy. But you have to be physically in real good shape to do this job, to do it the way I think it should be done, and things start hurting a little bit, and if you start missing a play or 2 here and there, you might not think too much of it, but if you miss more than one, you should take notice of that, and so there's a time and a place where you say that maybe I had enough, and it's time to turn it over to the next guy, and I'm glad I did what I did, because Gardy was the right guy to step in and take over, and did a magnificent job managing this club. And I know we had a bump in the road here the last year or 2, but again, he was the right guy to take over, and things were, I think, headed in the right direction when I retired. We had finished second, and I still profess if Guzman didn't get hurt in the All-Star game, we would have had a chance to win, but we had to. Denny Hocking, who we all love Denny, but he was a utility guy, and we tried to play him every day, and that didn't work out so well. But we just didn't have that extra shortstop to bring in, and some people told me that actually Guzman hurt his shoulder going to the All-Star game when he was picking up the luggage off the rack, because he had so many people in the entourage, and he picked up a luggage and he hurt his shoulder, and I believe that's probably true, but whatever.
To right center, and that ball knocked down by Brantley, and Revere will fly to third. Brantley can't pick the ball up, and the Twins start the 5th with a pair of hits.
Oh, good base running right there by Ben Revere. He kind of had to hesitate a while because Brantley came charging in on this line drive. And sometimes as a base runner, you get stuck in no man's land. He thought it was a base hit right off the get-go. Ben Revere went about halfway. That ball kind of blocked by Brantley, and then right there, he sees that ball is in front of him, and then his speed takes over, and he slides in safely in the third.
That speed makes up for a lot of little miss errors, or a few missteps. And he's fun to watch run the bases, and it's very enjoyable to watch guys like that run. Hey, I know Jamie Carroll, I think, is having a terrific summer for the Twins.
I think he's getting stronger. It seems like the season's going on.
I asked him before he shook my hand, and he was all clean shaven. I said, "You didn't have to shave for this." He laughed. It was funny. Oh, he laughed.
Let me ask you something, TK.
Yes,
when does it come to you? Like, I mean, I know you started in minor leagues, but managers, okay, good managers like yourself, like Ron Gardenhire, you have to think sometimes 3, 4 innings ahead.
Yes, sir. We just had this discussion. You're right, Bert. You have to, you look at the game as it's going along, and it looks like it might be a pitcher's battle. So you program your mind that, well, maybe another inning or so here, we're going to just play for 1 run. And you got to put that in your head, 2, 3 innings ahead of time. It might be the 4th inning, but you're thinking maybe in the 6th or 7th, I might have to drop one down here to get a runner in position so we can get a base hit and score and get the lead, because it looks like one might get it done today. But again, you start strategizing, I think, not so much after the first pitch, but there are days when the first pitch is thrown and everything gets thrown out. But,
and you say, oh my.
Yeah, here we go. But for the most part, you start thinking in the 3rd or 4th inning and just how the game is going, and you project it out. Well, it's going to be a high scoring game. So let's make sure our bullpen is set up the best it possibly can to pitch to certain individuals. So let's try to get that programmed in. And,
I think what we saw a couple
like
times in Chicago is Gardy was trying to win the game in the 7th and 8th inning rather than, hey, let's wait till the 9th. Sometimes you have to try to win in the 7th.
Sure, especially in them days with I hate to interrupt when Mauer's sitting, because there's a rule in our house: nobody moves when Joe's at bat. Nobody moves. Sit down. Nobody. No bathroom. No getting a drink. Just sit down. Okay, but you know, you're going to look at Super Mario pitching the 9th inning in New York, and people like this. Well, you better think about scoring in the 7th or so, or the 6th,
right.
Or you ain't going to have no chance in the 8th and 9th. And so you have to think those things too. You have to think all that out, and you have to sometimes condense it to a 7-inning game and try to get the lead by the 7th, because you know if you ain't going to get any runs in the 8th or 9th. So.
Breaking pitch, and Bauer strikes out one down.
Yeah, but if you're not,
there.
that was a beautiful pitch. I'd have to tip my hat on that. But if you're not thinking ahead, that many, you know, more, at least 2-3 innings ahead, then you're not doing your job. And I'm sure each manager tries to do that.
And who helped you when you were?
I'd like Cal Irmer. You know Cal. He did a lot for me. I thought he tried to help me in different things in managing. He knew I was going to be. He knew it. I know he knew. He knew I was going to manage one day, and he tried to help me and take me off to the side and tell me a few things here and there. And like I said many times, and I felt with Cal, and I had him for a few years in the minor leagues, and I was played for him, and you could be 0 for 4, 0 for 8, 0 for 12, but if you showed up and gave it to him, you know, you give it to him, he'd write you down. He'd put you down because you're giving it to me. I know. Yeah, you didn't got it.
Cal Irmer was a good
Oh,
baseman.
man, I really enjoyed playing for Cal. And he'd tell you if you stunk, too. So, you know.
You stunk, but I'm still putting you in the lineup.
You know, you gave it to him.
Yeah.
If you hustled and tried hard and showed up and worked, he wrote you down. He put your name down. I never did forget that.
Hey, TK, we have Ron Coomer. I think he'd like to congratulate you.
Yes, thanks.
First of all, Tom, congratulations.
Thanks, Coom. Thanks.
What a great honor. But I think, you know, for all of us infielders who spend a lot of time on that half field and you know, throwing balls across the infield and Good Morning America. To me, you made a funny comment. Stelly was sitting next to me. What's he going to do in spring training now, trying to figure out what field? But for some fans that haven't been down to spring training, can you talk about the fundamental things that we did on that half field?
As Bert knows, we get after it, and the thing I like to try to do is I always started the players before the pitchers. So the players, by the time they loosened up, exercise, got going, now we had them all on field 6, and I made the pitchers exercise right in front of that field 6 so they could watch, and we tried to explain to the pitchers that these boys are working to catch the ball and try to catch the ball for you, so let's put it in play and give them a chance to catch the ball because they're working so hard at it. Why not give them a shot? You know, put it in play, and I think we've seen that yesterday with Liam. You know, I mean, I like Liam. I think he's going to be a good pitcher one of these days, but you know, he was dancing around the strike zone, and that's not going to work. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. It ain't going to happen. You throw 110 pitches in 4 innings, 5 innings, you got to go. It's a bad pace to the game. Dick commented on it many times last night, how there's no pace to the game, and he was absolutely right. And it makes it hard to watch. It really does. And it's bad on your fielders. It's bad on everybody. Subsequently, you don't score because you're not ready to go because you've been standing there, and it's no fun to play that way. You'd rather see your starter hit the ball around. At least we're out here moving around. Oh, look at this nonsense.
There's field 6 right there.
But field 6, we did a lot of ground balls and situational stuff and reaction stuff, reactionary. We try to learn the basic plays over there on field 6. We try to make some fancy plays on field 6 just to change it up once in a while. And when you come off field 6, if you're not huffing and puffing, we ain't trying.
I don't think that's ever been an issue on field 6. I can attest to that. I've huffed and puffed many times.
Well, that's because you never were in shape.
Hey.
Oh, who said that? That might have been Gladden. Did he write that down for me? Danny said to say it. No.
3-2 now to Willingham.
But Coom was one of them guys. He could go over and play first for you, play third. You could stick him in the outfield every now and then if you felt brave enough, you know, and or felt lucky, and you might get away with it.
That was the gambler in that.
So, but Coom he'd show up, he'd give it to you. Yeah. You know, he'd give it to you, and he'd give me a good at bat and a respectable at bat. he busted his butt every night, so you write his name down.
There's ball 4. Willingham will walk. Morneau will come up with the bases loaded. Hey, speaking of field 6, when we've all year long we've revisited. We're going to have a pitching change. We've revisited some of the key plays in '87. The pickoff at third base.
Yes, sir.
Was the genesis of that at field 6?
That was field 6 thing. Yeah.
We were in Orlando,
absolutely.
I guess, at the time.
Yeah, we did all that, and got to give Gary Gaetti the credit. He says, can we try a pickoff at third? And I said, that sounds good to me.
We're going to talk more about that when we come back. Scott Bain, the new Cleveland pitcher.
Back in the day, I know that doesn't happen anymore, but back in the day, that would have been fit right into my house.
Whack. Twins with a chance to break it open here. They lead 2-0.
How about the belt? You ever have the belt?
No, my dad was there. Well, here's Scott Bain coming in. He's making his 7th relief appearance. Now, he was claimed off waivers by the Indians from the Chicago Cubs in late August. So just not a lot of major league experience. A little bit with the Cubs over 2010 earlier this year.
Talk about getting thrown into the fire. Here we go.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Morneau at the plate. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
I assume that must be his pitch. Slider ball.
I saw him drop down, kind of almost 3/4 sidearm.
I wouldn't want anything to do with that. That's why I had to start matching.
I know Vern Rule was straight over the top.
Vern straightened it out. Vern, God rest his soul.
Yes.
Nice man. Now, we sort of became friends after that.
He was a good
Unbelievable.
man.
Yeah, he was.
Kind of like a Bobby Thompson, Ralph Branca type.
No, I don't think so. Not quite.
Your home run against Vern wasn't that significant?
Yeah, I started in my home run trot, and yeah, all right, this is all right. And then all of a sudden, I seen the right fielder going back, and he's going to jump. I said, oh no! So I had turned the Jets on. Yeah, and it just crawled over that lower level there, and it made it, but it wasn't pretty. It got over there.
2 strikes to Morneau, and a ball.
I know Tom Westcott, and Bird knows Tom, and we all do. And Wesley used to pick us up at the airport, and there was a little discussion one night on who got dropped off first. And it's 2 or 3 in the morning, whatever it is, and Harmon is in the van, and I'm in the van, Stelly's in the van, and there's another person in the van. And the other person thought that he should get dropped off first and made a little stink about it. And Wesley pulled the van over, turned around and said, I have 575 home runs in this band. Kelly 1, Stelmazik 1, and Killebrew 573, and he's getting dropped off first. And it was the end of the discussion.
That's it.
Full count to Morneau with the bases loaded. And Doman on deck. Bain brought in to get Morneau. He got ahead of him 0-2. Now it's 3-2. And it's fouled away.
This is one of my pet peeves in Bert is watching pitchers, and like Dick just pointed out, 0-2. The next thing you know, it's 3-2. Let's throw it over. Come on.
Why nibble?
You know, Mauer. How many times a season does Mauer swing at a bad pitch? 4 or 5 total, maybe. You know, you got to throw the ball close to the strike zone. It ain't going to happen. These guys are going to take it.
Remember, Mauer was at the plate with a full count and had 7 2-strike fouls, making sure Mauer got his running in from first to second. And now in this at bat, there have been 2 2-strike fouls.
It's time for the courage play. Bases loaded, less than 2 outs.
Send everybody.
There
and
you go.
All 4. Morneau will get an RBI on a bases loaded walk.
Well, second walk for Justin in the ball game, his 70th RBI of the year. And the Twins take a 3-0 lead.
It's so hard to watch, and you know some guys have to pitch and they have to throw the breaking ball 3-2, or they cancel out. Even if the base is loaded, they have to throw the breaking ball.
Sometimes you wonder. I mean, hitters. Get 3 hits and 10 at bats, you're a 300 hitter. That
You're doing good.
Means you make 7 outs.
That's correct.
So throw the ball over the plate.
Just do the
hitters
round.
get themselves out.
Here's Doman. Ball 1.
It's a hard thing to do. You know, but I think baseball's a hard game, but I think golf is harder. I really do. That ball's not even moving. This one at least is moving. You just have a reason that you don't hit it. The golf ball is just sitting. That's really hard game.
And Dolan fouls it back to the screen.
I'm going to get distracted.
Twins leading 3-0. One thing they did not do last night that they wish they had, and that was add some runs after they scored 4 early ones. And now a chance here to really put up a crooked number.
You talk about adding on. This is the right spot for it. And allow the manager and the coaches to sit down, take a deep breath. Everybody's happy. Fans are happy. Everybody. Base hit.
Santana out to talk to Scott Maine.
You know,
Scott Maine, 27 years old, again claimed off of waivers from the Cubs.
You know, I watched Doman hit all summer and spring training, and right to this moment, I still don't know if he hits better lefty or righty. I really don't. I think he's dangerous both sides. I know that I don't know what the numbers are, but I just from watching, I think he's dangerous on both sides of the plate. But
well, there
obviously,
are the numbers, but of course
more at bats.
At-bats.
Sure, but I like him from both sides. In fact, if anything, I sort of like him lefty more than righty, but the numbers prove that wrong.
Foul back 1 and 2.
He's had some big hits for us this year. And that's another pickup, wonderful pickup, I think, by Terry Ryan and his staff. And they've done a good job with that this year, picking up some people.
Well, we were suggesting the other day that if the Pirates end up a little bit short, you know, what they've needed all along is another bat in the middle of the lineup, and they had one in Ryan Doman.
Well, they did such a good job. Their pitching staff certainly held together for a long, long time. Might have let loose here a little bit late in the year, but got to give the Pirates a little credit. They really put a good scare into a lot of people this summer. I was rooting for him. I really was.
Maine picks up a strikeout, a big strikeout of Ryan Doman with bases loaded and 1 out. I'll see if Chris Parmalee can come up with a big 2-out hit.
What a nice job Parm's done coming back from the minor leagues. Didn't complain, didn't, you know the word, moan about anything, and went down, did his work, and did his job. And I think, you know, hard work pays off, and he certainly has made a real good impression for himself. Played first base and go in the outfield if you need him.
Well, remember last year he had that great year in Double-A and then came up in September, hit 355, hit 4 home runs. This year, started the season where the Twins got sent down. 4 different stints, but like you said, TK, went down. He kept working at his game. He had a very good year down in Rochester, and now he's getting to play every day.
Just goes to show that, you know, you keep preaching at the players. You got to work hard. It ain't going to happen. If you don't, as you know, Bert, if you don't work out your trade, it ain't going to happen. And, you know, there's nothing given to you. You have to earn it. And, Parm certainly has earned his stripes this year. And I tip my hat to him because he needed to go back down after the start he got off to. He needed to go back, and he did, and he's worked at it the whole year. And
well, he's one of these players, TK, that I think that when he went down, and he's already mentioned it, I want this guy to play every day. He didn't get that chance, really, you know.
Like I said, he needed to go down and play. And the Twins did the right thing in my mind, sending him back. And Morneau needed to play here, so it worked out for everybody.
And Parmalee.
That's putting up a fight. This is another thing that we try to profess. And I spoke with Dick about this a number of times in your absence, and where you got to learn how to put up a good fight when you're up there and not be an easy out and try to foul the pitches off. You know, we go back a little bit and we talk about like a guy like Wade Boggs, who's obviously a very talented hitter, being able to foul balls off. Foul, foul, foul. Then eventually you throw one that he can hit. And he gets a hit. So, you know, but so be it. But this is the thing we all have to learn.
2-2 to Parmalee.
It's a good battle.
I always said, TK, if I have to throw 4, 5, sometimes 6 pitches to a batter, there's one of those pitches they should have hit somewhere.
Yeah, that's correct. And you get that many. That was my problem, Dick. When I hit, I only got like 3. Go sit there. That's where I went wrong.
And that long walk back to the dugout.
Yeah, it got longer and longer too.
Dribbler to the right side, and the Twins will leave the bases full. They add one more.
We got the lead.
And lead 3-0. Tom, thanks for stopping by.
My good friend and dearly parted Cal Irmer say, hold them.
Nothing. Top of the 6th coming. We are in the middle of the Minnesota State Lottery Winner's Circle. 100 scratch-off tickets. You've also been circled by the Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven. A wonderful portrait of Bert. Now, last night the Dutch girls called Bert hot. I'll go with handsome tonight. Great sign. And Keenan and his friends drove all the way from South Dakota. And obviously a big day today for Tom Kelly. You've been a Twins fan all your life. What are your favorite memories of Tom Kelly?
World Series, 87-91.
World Series 87-91 doesn't get much better than that. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Nice sign, and you are hereby congratulated. Dave Broomer, trainer, go out to talk to Cole DeVries. I wonder if he may be feeling something with that, line drive that was hit back up the middle at him back in the 3rd inning.
He kind of rotated his trunk a little bit, and as if it might be tightening up a little bit. Twins have had a couple of long innings where DeVries has just been sitting in there chilling out in the dugout. He's got a 3-0 lead.
Let's take a look at the last warm-up pitch. And you're just getting down right there just because of the throw to second base.
Shin-Soo Choo will lead things off. And he takes ball 1. Well, on alert, the Twins have activated the bullpen here with DeVries sailing into the 6th inning. And a bouncer up the middle of base hit. So he missed with one breaking pitch, came back with it, and Chu picked up his second hit. Struck out Chu with a breaking pitch in the 3rd. Time for the CenturyLink high-speed pitch.
Well, Zach McAllister, like last night's starter for the Indians, went only 3 innings. He was clocked as high as 95. Cole DeVries had 91.
Kipnis walked in the 1st, hit a ground ball to Morneau in the 3rd. So many interesting series just in the American League side right now. And the White Sox, we showed you before, they beat the Royals 5-4.
How about Baltimore?
Baltimore
My
leading
goodness.
the Yankees
Yep.
5-3. Los Angeles with an early lead on Detroit 4-0. Oakland, Seattle tied at 1. But to me, the best series and the one that hasn't gotten enough attention, I don't think, is the Texas Tampa Bay series. They're in extra innings again. Tied at, well, Texas just took the lead now, 3-2, top of the 10th. And I'm imagining with Dunsing warming up that Texas Tampa Bay series might very well be the ALCS we'll be watching in the middle of October. Just off the plate now, 3-0.
Take a look at the last pitch. All 2 previous down in the strike zone. That one just missing. Get ground balls down there. Try it again.
There's a strike, 3-1. Texas has probably been the best team in baseball from day one. And the Rays are putting on a strong run with some great pitching. 3-1, DeVries to Kipnis. Popped up behind 3rd. Kloof chasing it. Doman, Florimone. And it's Doman. A fair ball catch, 1 away. The final Wine, Women, and Baseball event is coming up Monday when the Twins take on Cleveland. Wine tasting, appetizers, pamper yourself stations are just the beginning for this very popular event presented by Dove Chocolate and Park Nicollet. So the final Wine, Women, and Baseball event Monday night. You can reserve your spot at twinsbaseball.com or 800-33-TWINS. The Twins and Carly Rae Jepsen both saying, "Call me maybe." Here's Asdrubal Cabrera.
Good pitch. Cabrera strike out, and then he's the one that hit that line drive right back at Cole DeVries to end the 3rd inning.
That's just foul. 2 strikes. DeVries has scattered 4 singles. He's only walked 1. There haven't been nearly enough 1, 2, 3 innings for Twins starting pitchers this year, and DeVries put 3 in a row together.
Yep, 10 in a row before Chu led off this inning with a base hit.
It was Cabrera in the 3rd inning who hit the liner into the rib cage of DeVries. One and 2. Double play ball. Carroll, Florimone. Double play. Another good inning after a wobbly start for Cole DeVries. 6 shutout innings against the Indians.
freeze cam. Now it's time for the Coors Light freeze cam, and it's all about Tom Kelly here today. His number 10 being retired by the Twins organization. Very, very nice. TK on the back of the pitching mound, and there's a smiling TK. Congratulations, Tom Kelly. That was a frost brewed Coors Light freeze cam.
Well, Cole DeVries being talked to by Rick Anderson. I'm sure Rick Anderson thrilled to death that DeVries looked like he was going to veer into some trouble from time to time through his 6 shutout innings, but he was able to right the ship.
84 pitches for Cole DeVries in 6 shutout innings.
And now Frank Herman comes into the ballgame to pitch to the Twins in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, Frank Herman, a good sinker, slider type pitcher. In his 3rd season with the Indians. Got called up in August and then optioned out in late August and then recalled just 5 days ago.
So what do we figure? There have been, what, 120 pitches thrown by Cleveland pitchers?
133.
133. 42 Twins foul balls tonight.
Wow.
So almost a third of the pitches thrown have been turned into souvenirs. That's a high number, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Here's Trevor Plouffe.
And another foul ball.
Good night to be at the ballpark. Got to see a nice pregame ceremony. Odds are pretty good you're going to get a baseball. One and one to Plouffe. I don't know that there's any position player who wants to finish strongly more than Trevor Plouffe, because I think the Twins are trying to figure out exactly what type of player he is. Is he the guy? Of course, he's not the guy who's going to hit 19 home runs in a month. But in the last 10, he's hit 1 home run, but the average is in the low 200s. And I think given the current state of affairs, Bert, they'd like to take as many positions as they can forward into 2013 and go, well, we don't have to worry about that position anymore because we've got that guy there. I'm not sure they're at that point with Plouffe yet.
I agree with you. I think, you know, not only offensively he has been struggling since he's come back off the disabled list. I think I've seen it defensively, too. There's been too many balls that, you know, I always go back to, say, Gary Gaetti or third basemen that are really good at third that have gotten by Trevor Plouffe, especially in that Chicago series. He made an error earlier in the ball game that he's got to make that play. Why, it wasn't an error. They ended up giving him a base hit, but it was an error.
Cabrera with a backhanded play, quick release over to Kanzler, and Plouffe is retired, 1 down. Catch all your Viking action Sunday morning starting at 10 a.m. on Fox Sports North. This week on Vikings Beyond the Gridiron. See how Matt Khalil is adjusting to life in the NFL on and off the field. Then at 10:30 on Vikings Game Plan, Leslie Frazier discusses Adrian Peterson's week of practice. Then at 11, don't miss Vikings Country with this week's guest, Chad Greenway. It's all on Fox Sports North tomorrow morning starting at 10.
You know, go back to Trevor Plouffe. When you're a player like Trevor Plouffe, when you hit 11 home runs in a month of June and you're up to, 19 right after the All-Star break, all of a sudden, everything's going good. Now you struggle, okay? That's when you find out what type of player you are. Trevor Plouffe knows he wants that third base job. Sometimes you put a little bit too much pressure on yourself. Right there, you can see the frustration of Trevor Plouffe.
Yep. Down and away, 2-1.
That's the hardest part of the game of baseball because you are playing around the best in the world. And you want to be right there with them. And then you have the highs and the lows. Well, yeah, he might be in a low, but you never quit learning. I mean, we were talking to Tom Kelly about that. You never quit learning. You never give up on yourself.
You never quit working hard. Tom, in his speech and again on the air with us, talking about the importance of working hard. And I think Trevor's done that.
Yes, he has.
He's spent a lot of time working on things in the field, trying to improve his glove work, his footwork.
Well, Scotty Alger's always feeding him ground balls. I mean, prior to, say, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they're working on it. Trying to soften those hands a little bit.
2-2 to Florimo. A couple of ground balls, one to second, one to short for the Twins shortstop. You know, and I say that regarding third base because I think the Twins are in that situation where, you know, things haven't crystallized yet at short or at second. So you got 2 positions right there moving forward where there's some uncertainty as to who's going to be there next year. Florimone hopes to leave a very strong impression here. He's going to play just about every day from here on out. Cabrera again backhand and fires to first, 2 down.
You know what, Dick, what's sad to say is that the same questions you just brought up are the same questions the Twins had going into last week.
The Minnesota Twins will be hosting their 8th annual Sports Internship and Career Fair at Target Field on September 13th, noon to 3 p.m. Last year, the fair hosted more than 20 sports-related organizations and over 450 fair participants. Participants will have the chance to network and explore various career opportunities. For registration information and event details, visit www.twinsbaseball.com/job opportunities or call 800-33-TWINS. Spaces limited. Register today.
To go back to opportunities, I think the Twins last winter thought that Danny Valencia was going to be the third baseman. You know, he had 15 home runs. That did not work out. So there's another opportunity for Trevor Plouffe to, you know, win that job. And those are the pressures players put on themselves.
On the pitching side, I would imagine Liam Hendricks is about where Trevor Plouffe is right now, trying to win that first game. Revere swings and misses. Santana with a toss to first, and Herman has a 1-2-3 6th inning. Brian Johnson will pitch next for the Twins.
Get Tom Vernansky out of our booth. Where's security when you want him? Cole DeVries, outstanding 6 innings. You know, he was a pain in my back then, and he's still today.
And a double play. DeVries in his last 4 innings of work got 12 outs from 12 batters. So pretty nice work by Cole DeVries.
Yeah, 2 double plays. He came into the ball game, had only 3 double plays turned behind him. And here this evening, Cole DeVries in his 16th start gets a couple double plays. Brian Dunsing coming in, making his 47th appearance on the season. Good, Bruno's gone.
Dunsing coming in, pitching out of the bullpen until further notice. That's kind of been the tagline to his career, till further notice. He's a starter till further notice. Now he's in the bullpen till further notice. And I think that's one of the things the Twins want to do, to be fair to Brian, is to maybe establish exactly next year what his job's going to be. Now, I'm reading comments from Ron Gardenhire and Terry Ryan. I'm not so sure that they still don't envision him being a starter next year. But with the Twins wanting to take a look at Esmerling Vasquez, Duno, so on and so forth, for right now, Dunsing is a reliever.
And he's making his third relief appearance. He worked in Kansas City, 2/3 shutout baseball, and then in Chicago, an inning and a third of shutout baseball. He gets ahead in the count of Santana here, now hitting as a right-handed hitter.
Is it more complicated than this? As the Twins are trying to assemble a rotation for next year, you want to take, don't you, your 5 best arms. I mean, your best arms are either your closers or your starting pitchers. And so right now, I'm not so sure, and there will be additions to the pitching staff to be sure, but I'm not so sure Dunsing wouldn't fit in that category of having the 5 best arms next year.
Just said, you know what, I mean, he's done a pretty good job as a starter. He's been up and down. Last year was a frustrating year for him. There's a flied up ball to Ben Revere for the first out, hopefully.
One down.
In the 7th inning. But you also have to look at endurance. You may have a good arm, but maybe you're only a 2 or 3 or 4 inning pitcher. LaTroy Hawkins, when he was with the Twins, had a great arm for 4 or 5 innings, and then as a starter, he kind of started to, that fastball straightened out a little bit in the 5th, 6th inning. So what you're looking for a starter is someone that give me at least 7 good innings in spring training. That's your ultimate goal. Give me 7 good innings coming out of spring training.
Well, if you had a rotation filled with those guys, you'd sail into the playoffs, because that's who has that.
That's what you try to do every spring. But what the Twins, I think, Dick, what they really need is a couple workhorses. Just 2 guys. If Pavano comes back, if they re-sign him, he could be that guy. Baker, of course, if he comes back, of course they have an option on him if they buy him out and he re-signs with the Twins. He's not going to be that guy because he's coming off the Tommy John surgery.
Tapper right side, easy play for Carroll.
Scott Diamond, I think, has shown that he could be that, 2nd or 3rd starter. You still need that horse.
A James Shields type.
Exactly.
All right, what about, here's a name I'll throw out to you. Jeremy Guthrie, who was with Baltimore. He was their opening day starter a number of years. Went to Colorado, found out how bad life can be for a pitcher at Coors Field, and now he's pitching great for Kansas City.
And I would have to say that Kansas City has to look at re-signing him. He's pitched very well there. That Kansas City is another organization and needs good quality starters, as the Indians do.
I believe that Guthrie is a free agent after this year, so as much as Kansas City might want to keep him, and Guthrie's expressed a desire to stay there, he's in the open market, or on the open market. 1 strike to Russ Kanzler. Isn't it fun spending somebody else's money?
It's not a matter of spending money. It's just getting, if you want to win, you need these things to win. And like TK, like every manager, I mean, even TK's speech, he had Jack Morris stand up. He had Brad Radke stand up. He had Frank Viola stand up. Those were his horses.
In the dirt, 2-1. Anyway, Dunsing has a chance of fitting into the starting pitching picture next year, regardless of who is there. There's Sal Butera, who was the backup catcher in the '87 team.
Frank Viola.
Brittany Viola's father, excuse me. That's who that is.
Yeah, Brittany is here too.
Oh, is she?
Got a chance to congratulate her.
Oh, that's awesome. 3-1.
Of course, was the in the Olympics for the I believe it's called 10-meter diving. Yep. She did a great job. All I know, it was high. And if I ever tried what she did, I would have broke my neck.
But I would not to see you get hurt. I'd pay money to see it. I wouldn't want to see you get hurt, but I'd love to see you try it.
There's not a chance.
3-2 to Kansler. Tapper to short. Florimone sets and fires a rocket over to Morneau. Dunsing out of the pen as a 1-2-3 inning. Is brought to you by McDonald's. Quench your thirst. Get any size soft drink or sweet tea for just $1. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Get him, Killer. Armin Killebrew.
3-0 with the Twins in front. Good pitching performance by Cole DeVries, then Brian Dunsing. Now Tony Sipp will wing it up there for Cleveland.
Yeah, Tony Sipp, a hard-throwing left-hander, fastball slider-type pitcher, making his 54th relief appearance. 47 strikeouts in 46 innings pitched with 20 walks. Sipp, 29 years old, in his 4th season with the Indians. Signed by the Indians out of Clemson University back in 2004.
Jamie Carroll will lead things off. Mauer and Willingham will follow. One 1-0 to Carroll. I thought Tom Kelly had a nice compliment on Carroll's play and how well he's played for the Twins. And he was describing players. There's a high fly down the left field line. Pereira's under it for the catch. Players who never make a false step on the field, and he was talking about very high caliber players, the Molitors, Puckett's, and Younts. But then a couple breaths later, he talked glowingly of Jamie Carroll.
Well, even on that fly ball right there, Jamie Carroll didn't say, okay, it's a fly ball, I'm out. He rounded first base in case you don't know that ball might get dropped out in left field. He hustled. That's what Tom Kelly's talking about. Look at him go right there. It's a fly ball to left field, but you don't assume anything. And finally, the ball is caught, and Carroll slows down. But he hustled out of that box.
And now Mauer grounds it sharply to Kansler, and he's retired, out number 2. Now, Jamie Carroll very likely was that guy all along, but when you don't make your major league debut till you're 28, you're going to appreciate every day you have up in the big leagues, and that's the way Jamie plays.
And don't you think Terry Ryan, when they looked at guys that are available out there, looked at a Jamie Carroll, and he had a track record of the hustle that he had? What a great guy to bring into the organization because of his hustle. He could, lead by example.
The word I hear Terry use a lot talking about players is makeup. What's their makeup? And a player's makeup is probably better determined when things aren't going well rather than when they are. One strike to Willingham. And now 2 strikes.
There's Terry Ryan.
Two strikes to Willingham. Walked a couple of times and driven in a run with a fly ball. Ooh. Wow. That looked like that had plenty of the plate there.
Well, again, good hard fastball, hard slider.
Yep. Shows you what I know.
Good eye by Willingham.
1 and 2. Orioles held on, beat the Yankees 5-4.
Puts them back into a tie with the Yankees.
Texas beat Tampa Bay 4-2 and 10. Jared Burton warming up. Screwball, a changeup that was tailing away, and Willingham got a piece of it.
Take a look at the pitch right here. Just took something off, and Josh fouling it straight back.
Got him. So Sip comes out of the pen. Pitches a 1-2-3-7. More on defense with a nice pivot at second base.
Yeah, this coming off the bat of Trevor Plouffe. Hanahan throwing the ball a little bit on the wild side, but Phelps hanging in there to get the double play that in the 4th inning.
And Phelps will lead off the 8th against Twins right-hander Jared Burton.
This is another guy that Terry Ryan brought in, coming from the Cincinnati Reds. Hoping that that shoulder surgery he had in 2008, I thought they did a great job all season long protecting that shoulder. He has had a fantastic year out of that bullpen. Very good 2.09 ERA.
I think we tallied it up the other night, maybe when we were in Chicago. 29 players on the current Twins roster. 13 of them, nearly half of them, were not in the Twins organization a year ago. So the Twins responding by getting some new players after the disappointment of last year. Obviously, this year's been a disappointment too. So the presumption is there are going to be a lot of changes. There are going to be a lot of roster changes in advance of 2013. But Burton, if he wants to come back, is going to be back. The Twins very happy with what he's done this year. On the right field line, but a foul ball. And a cracked bat to boot. Burton picked up a few saves along the way, but his value to the Twins has been in this role in the 8th inning, setting up Caps or hopefully now Perkins for a while in the final weeks.
Yeah, Burton has 5 saves on the year for the Indians. Excuse me, for the Twins.
Assuming he comes back next year, you can imagine the Twins kind of taking the gloves off a little bit with Burton. They were very protective of him. Careful when they pitched him on back-to-back days, and a year farther away from his shoulder surgery, one would think he'd be able to pitch a little more durably than he did this year. 1 down, and that'll bring up Hanahan.
Hanahan, one of the 4 hits for the Indians. His hit coming in the 2nd inning.
They get all the lefties.
Said they had 5 lefties out there.
Figure they can't hit them, they may as well have plenty of them in their bullpen, right? Foul to the screen. Up and in, 2-1. Check swing, 3-1.
That was that changeup right there, just missed low. Herrera on deck.
Tapper to short. Florimone charges. 2 down. Rough start for Justin Verlander. Giving up 5 early runs to the Angels.
Last couple of times we've seen ground balls to short. Florimone coming in, making a very nice play on that little short hop. Right there, charging that ball. Very nice play.
2 down in the 8th, and that'll bring up Herrera.
Florimone right here. Doesn't wait back on it, charges it, gets it on that maybe 2nd, 3rd hop, and then fires it over to 3rd.
I was talking with Tom Bernansky, your nemesis, the guy who was tormenting you in the booth here just a few minutes ago. He was talking about Florimone's range. And when we talk about range, I think a lot of fans were talking lateral range left and right. But you know, shortstops with really good range can go in and back too. It's just as that's an important element of their range is moving laterally.
But to have that Greg Gagne type of cat-like instincts for shortstop.
Now, you've said that for years, and honestly, I had 4 or 5 cats growing up, and they didn't have any instincts at all, so I don't have that reference point.
Well,
they were the stupidest
very
cats.
Quickly. I'm not talking about their brains. I'm talking about how quick they move.
My cats, frankly, were sluggish. All of them.
That's why you don't have any more, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you think of center fielders, same way. You know, once that ball is hit, boy, they've got that instinct just to take off. Great concentration. Shortstop, second baseman, they have that cat-like instinct. Just to go get that ball. That first step.
You know, my cats went to get the ball, but it just took them a while. Three and 2 to Carrera. And waving at strike 3, Burton has a 1-2-3. The Indians have sent the minimum number of hitters to the plate since the third.
Old manager proud with a 3-0 lead. Stay with us right after the game for Twins Live. Presented by CenturyLink. Cole DeVries delivers a beauty tonight. 6 innings of shutout baseball. We'll take you inside the clubhouse. We'll get Ron Gardner's thoughts on this game and, more importantly, his mentor, Tom Kelly. And speaking of Tom Kelly, you will not want to miss our instructional. The Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven, former Twin Ron Coomer, take you on the field with lessons from TK. Some of those little things he talked about in his speech that make you a better baseball player. If you're a young player out there and you want to learn the way these guys learn from Tom Kelly, you'll be out in the field with them tonight for our instructional. It's all part of Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Twins in front, 3-0, looking for some insurance. Scott Barnes.
Yeah, Barnes up and down 4 times this year with the Indians. Hard-throwing lefty with a fastball and a slider in his rookie season at the major league level.
Morneau with a fly to left and a couple of walks, one of them driving in a run. He swings and misses, 1-1. Excuse me, 0-2. It'll be Morneau, Doman, and Parmelee. Half swing, did he go? Nope. And it's 1-2. Twins getting a couple of runs in the third. The RBI is going to Mauer and Willingham. And then a bases loaded walk to Morneau in the 5th. There's a little pop fly, and it'll drop into center field. Checking up nicely on the fringe. Morneau flips a single to center.
Yeah, Justin picking up his first hit. Got jammed right there, but see the strength of Justin just fighting that pitch off. And maybe breaking his bat. hitting it into short center field.
Here's Doman, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Ball one. Doman drives it to right. That'll drop in front of Chu, who stumbled as he was ready to charge in to possibly make a catch. I looked at the ball, I looked at Chu, and Chu was almost on the ground.
Well, he thought about coming in on this line drive, and I think he realized all the top spin on this ball because Doman hit this ball sharply. Watch Chu right here. Thought about coming in and then backed away because he saw that ball had been hit hard with all that top spin. So Doman picking up his first hit.
Now Parmalee coming up. The Twins building a threat here in the 8th. Darren Mastroianni running at first for Doman. He'll take over in left field. And for those of you who'd like to see Glenn Perkins get a save here at home this year, it's a 3-run lead right now. Parmalee swings through it. If the Twins add a run, it won't be a save situation whether Perkins comes in or not. Right now he's warming up. All 10 of his saves have been away from target field. Nice dig by Santana, and it's 1-1. To Parmalee. 1 for 3 with a single and a couple of ground outs. Swing and a miss.
Good fastball by Barnes.
Pretty good spot. 93 miles per hour. 1-2. Off the plate.
Barnes, 25 years old, originally signed by the Giants back in 2008 out of St. John's University. Same place that Frank Viola went to.
And Parmalee lifts it foul. Chop to third. Step on the bag, and Parmalee is tagged out. It's a double play. Nice tag over there by Kanzler. And a good play by Hanahan on the other corner.
Yeah, very nice play by Hanahan. He knows if he charges that ball, he's going to be right near the bag. So step on the bag and then throw to first. Stepped on third for the force out to throw across a little off the line, but Kanzler coming off the bag and making the tag for the double play.
Trevor Plouffe says, hey, a couple of weeks ago I hit that ball and it was a triple play. Plouffe is 0 for 3. Strike at the knees. Good record when they score first.
Of course, a cold hard fact. You know what? I mean, I think what's important in this ball game is Cole DeVries worked out of a couple jams in the first 2 innings, put zeros on the board. That allowed the Twins to score 2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and they've maintained that lead so far.
1 strike to Plouffe. To Santana. 1-1. Speedy Mastroianni's at second base. Twins have been knocking the cover off the ball here tonight. They only have 7 hits themselves. The 7 hits have all been singles.
Oh, ouch.
And Plouffe gets drilled in the thigh.
Santana sitting inside and at the left thigh of Trevor Plouffe.
Florimone 0 for 3. Florimone trying to expand the Twins' lead from 3-0. Front of the changeup, strike 1. One and one. Pop up to the left. See Florimone hit it in the air that often. Cabrera out short left field makes the catch. It will be a same situation for Glenn Perkins in the 9th inning. Twins in front 3-0, trying to even the series at a game apiece. Ben Revere got the scoring started. The Twins got a pair in the 3rd.
I got a 1-out single, later scored in the inning. Joe Mauer drove them in. Twins scored a couple runs in that 3rd inning, added another run in the 5th. Ben Revere scored a couple runs. And Glenn Perkins looking for his 11th save of the year, his first here at Target Field this season.
Darren Mastroianni in left field, replacing Domet. And it'll be the top 3rd of the Cleveland lineup, and Perkins hopes that's it as he delivers strike 1 to Shin-Soo Choo. Choo's done well in this series and really done well since they moved him into the leadoff spot. Swing and a miss late on a 96-mile-per-hour fastball.
Yeah, Perkins worked an inning in last night's ball game. He threw 13 pitches, 9 first strikes in a 7-6 loss to the Indians.
Just blew him away, and the third swing was a half swing, 1 down.
Like my interview I did with Perkins earlier this year, he said, you know, I come in, I want to strike out everybody. That's his thinking out there. He's the closer right now. Matt Capps hopefully will come back before the season's over with. He's still on that throwing program, but right now the closer is more Perkins than Jared Burton.
Jason Kipnis, the batter. And a strike. 1-1. On so many levels, Perkins would seem a natural fit to be the closer for the Twins for years to come. He throws strikes. He can throw in the mid-90s. I mean, the Twins haven't had a closer reach that kind of velocity. I mean, Aguilera didn't. Reardon didn't. Reardon was low 90s. Nathan, I guess, did. Joe would get it up 94, 95. Yeah. Flipped foul, 1-2.
Well, the whole staff has done a real good job here tonight against the Indians. Indians have only had 2 runners get to second base. That's it in this ballgame. That in the first and second inning.
Bouncer to second. Carroll scoops it up. 2 down. Jimmy John's delivery of the game. And to use Tom Kelly's phrase, momentum is as good as your next day's pitcher. Well, the next day, Cole DeVries is our Jimmy John's delivery of the game.
All right, threw a lot of pitches in the first couple innings, 40, but then really settled down very nicely. Ended up pitching 6 shutout innings, a couple double plays turned behind him.
Check swing to Cabrera, ball 1. Swing and a miss, 1-1. And now 1-2. And the Indians are down to their last strike, and this has been fundamentally a strong ball game for the Twins. No errors in the field. Floromone's made some nice plays at short. The pitchers have thrown strikes.
That slider just missing down and in.
Hitters could have gotten another clutch hit or two to make everybody breathe a little easier, but certainly a better ball game than last night.
Oh, it gives Perkins a save opportunity.
2-2. And missing with a fastball. And to save it for Cole DeVries and even his mark at 5-5. Plouffe with a pickup to his left. Game over. Perkins gets his first target field save. And Cole DeVries really pitched well here tonight. For the 3rd game in a row, DeVries has given the Twins a really good chance to win. And tonight they won it. Tom Hanneman, Twins still in position to maybe win this series 3-1.
We'll talk about the next game. The Twins have won 8 of their last 10 now against Cleveland. Coming up on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. Cole DeVries dominates. We'll hear from Gardy in the clubhouse as well. Up next on Twins Live.